or two players to pop off, and it's that man's on the left-hand side to near. If he pops off, it could be difficult for Nemiga to deal with him. So we'll have to wait and see. But looks like we're getting live. Let's get on the way in towards our first map of the day here on the B stream. Welcome in. And there, of course, joined by Scriv. And it's Heroic Nemiga to kickstart things. Heroic starting on that CT side. Nemiga on the T side.
Yeah, I do like it. We saw in the interview the revenge arc, right? These guys played each other a fair bit last year. Kind of the two it teams, at least the core of Heroic, of course, playing for Sangal, and they were really the teams to watch. Kind of both teams being invited to this particular Pro League is off the back of Sangal coming first and then Nemiga coming second in ECL. So that was kind of the tale whenever they met. It was more Sangal with the victories. So see whether that is the case here today. A knockout game, of course. Looking good to get into the A-bomb site. Plant going to come in. It is this 3 versus 3, but a big head found by Risky Bob. Might just change the tides, and they may be calling to save, or is it just a reposition towards short here? It looks like a reposition all the same. Doesn't look like a great one. This is not a good situation to be in.
No, tough predicament. No kit. So I don't know how we're going to make this one stick. Tanir's going to hit some shots, and my God, does he's why. Gets deleted, swing and a ding, but another find is hold on to one man Lear, tapping away through that smoke is Tanir to drop him. We just don't have time though. If we had a kit, we might have tempted fate with that defuse. It will be Nemiga winning the round, but my oh my. Heroic showing they've got a good couple of individuals. That was not a bad attempt at the retake. All it was down to was timing. So, a shaky start in both regards here, but I think both sides can take some positives from that. Bomb plant, round 1, great for Nemiga, and you can see what it means as well. Look at that, Risky Bob getting loud. But on the flip side for Heroic, they've proved that they can go toe-to-toe, right? That they do have the individuals to win out raw aim duels. And probably hence why they've gone for a 4-spy. We got a FAMAS, an M4, double deagle, and a 5-7 for Youngster to round it out.
So a bit of the history, I think, of these teams, again, continues to be interesting. I do like Nemiga as a project, you know what I mean? They're sort of what we're all about when you've got these like tier 2 teams trying to build up and survive and whatnot. Nemiga have been around for such a long time, you know, outliving like Hellraisers.
Yeah, it's true.
And people like this that were at the same sort of time as them, but they also don't really make changes until like a big opportunity comes along to sell off that player and kind of better their career. So there's a lot of like, I think, low budget projects that could really learn how to run things. Because around the time that Nemiga were coming up, you know, there's so many teams that just don't exist anymore that like were chopping and changing players way too much, and you know, no real stability and whatnot.
And I think it's spot on. I think Nemiga, they've been around for absolutely ages, longer than I've been kind of casting in the industry, right? And I think they've always been a side who have been actually relatively scary in their own regards. And when you see teams like Nemiga as well, I do wonder, just in general, are they sort of profitable, right? That's what a lot of teams are looking and aiming towards, right? Profitability. And I wonder, you know, because they've made some decent transfers and selling some decent players in the past. So potentially, right? Couple of good sponsors.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
I don't know as well if they're one of those ones that are owned as well by like a, you know, like an ex-player type vibe, and it's that kind of community style. Those orgs are normally feel, you know, they feel quite good to be a part of. Or bar OG.
Well, you know, the OG hate just out of nowhere.
They've had a rough time of it. Let's not beat around the bush, but.
Yeah, it's true, but I think they're also moneyballing things out there. You have to respect it to a certain degree.
Yeah, sure.
Heavy God, their most recent piece of real estate that's moved on quite.
It's gotten better than Nip, right? So,
well,
it's a win.
You know, yeah, and I think Nip are a bit more. OG have never really been solidly committed to, you know what I mean, like get the checkbook out, spend loads of money, whatever. They're obviously trying
they're Dota, right? That's where they're from.
have a presence. You what? Sorry.
Are they Dota? Is that what they're like? Where they come from? Or
Yeah, I believe so. I think they're a bit of a dynasty in Dota. But then I don't know. Not really heard their name come up in Dota conversations.
Yeah, I do not follow Dota.
I will hold my hands up before, you know, I get people angry at me or whatever for fake news. I'm not the biggest Dota knower.
He likes League.
A little bit.
Chat, let him have it. He likes League.
Hey, listen, mate. I like playing League. We have actually recently just quit League. I'd like, you know,
nice.
honor.
Oh, you're moving up in the world. This is
let the record show.
Big steps.
Yeah, but it's probably like
proud.
It's like smoking, mate. It's like the 8th time that I've quit League. You know what I mean? Over the past decade.
Yeah,
so
that's fair enough.
I'll probably be back in some capacity, but I think I'm just a bit too old now. You know what I mean? Like when I was 18, 19, you could maybe get through it.
Yeah.
And thrive in the toxicity or whatever to try and rank up. But I've never been very good at League. You know, I've not hit high heights in CS, but I'd say I got like to a decent level for a regular player. In League, I've always been fair to crap. You know what I mean? Like
fair.
Gold, getting gold is an achievement for me, and that's like not even halfway up the ranks, really.
Right.
So, you know.
All right. Fair enough. Deep nade towards long here. XL was playing a little bit of an aggro angle, but I think now we've lost long control and pit. It's probably not worth the risks on Pius. Getting spammed upon a little bit. Well, a decent amount of damage, but not enough to worry him with the AWP, that is. He'll continue scoping round. Or second flash. He avoids both quite well, in all fairness. XL will be flashed in, but Risky Bob wasn't caught by it. Brilliant swing and a fine Leah. What is that? Looks like A site's open, and it looks like Heroic are saving Nemiga. About to be 4-0 up.
Kind of ridiculous. A pretty crazy round for sure. Wow. Yeah, just flying in. It was a great flash towards short. I do like the play from Heroic, but unfortunately just too many bodies around the corner, not everybody blinded up. So this is looking good for Nemiga, rolling through some pretty early motions, but just making it look easy. Heads falling and rolling. Yeah, I mean, that's it there. His teammates were blinded, but he was just on the anti-flash corner.
That Leah swing. Pretty special, that one. My oh my, Nemiga. Shocking us a little bit, has to be said. I didn't expect this. I really thought Heroic could be the side to kind of come out the gates early. Heroic are normally a side that start really strong as well into you know, matchups and maps specifically, and are able to really kind of find their form. And yeah, not seeing any of that right now. Slow start and an early pause here. So getting on the mic, understandably, he needs to steady this ship. We've got to get, I think, into this series as early as Nemiga are a side that can actually be quite difficult to deal with when they start snowballing, and that's sort of what we're seeing at the moment.
I do have it on good authority here as well. Apparently OG are not great in Dota at the moment either.
Is Twitch chat come to save us?
Yeah. This is probably why we don't see them get the checkbook out as much, just because it's dangerous.
Well. Right.
Yeah, maybe they are the NIP of Dota.
Oh, you hate to say it. You really hate to say it.
Well, maybe I'm just saying that. I don't know if that's a good equivalency, but we'll find out, I suppose. Yeah, a legendary organization, but just not quite hitting.
X-Loud.
You know,
Good start. Needed that opening kill for Heroic. You get one, you get out. Even though he's basically 1 foot in the grave, I think you can be pretty happy with this. I do wonder how things change for Heroic off the back of that pause. And I wouldn't mind seeing, as you just seen there, like a little bit more of this proactivity type thing on the CT side. It's always, for me, a really good indicator of how confident a team feels on Dust2, is how aggro they like to get on this CT side and how much they're willing to fight and take map control and make the T side feel uncomfortable. Double stack car, one window. Heroic are really reading the B play here. This could be an absolute slaughter. In comes the util, both playing anti. Youngster up close as well, and behind that car for the first. Trying to get the player jumping up, he will. There's no way they expect the second. So Tanir delivers, missed shot with the AWP, and that is the round. Khan, no chance. Heroic, I think all credits have to go towards LNZ for that one. Mid-round calls 3 players to stack up B. Super well played.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of the time going for that kind of a risk is not going to pay off, but this car setup in particular, I don't even know that I'm pretty sure he got banged instantly. Actually, the mid player didn't really need him, but the old classic of 2 players in the same spot. Immediate timeout comes in from Nemiga though. We are really not messing around here today. They absolutely look set to take this one all the way down to the wire. Revenge arc, bit of rivalry between these 2 cores, squads, but of course tournament life on the line as well, and you have to be very, very present these next couple of days. This is not a 2-2 game, right? Yeah. It's not a one and done and then you're back in. These are guys that are having to roll it back with 2 wins in a row, you know, and that 2-2 bracket, if you get there, is going to be pretty scary as well. There's a few teams that have maybe surprised us and let us down and whatnot that are not close to qualification themselves.
Some bias, spotted one. It'll break open, just spots ahead. But not enough. Oh, gets a tag on towards Risky Bob there with Tanir on the secondary AWP. Unconfirmed damage, but good damage all the same. You'll take it.
Oh, yikes. Some Pious totally caught off. A-bomb side looks pretty vulnerable then. LNZ surely going to go down. Trying to slow things down, but unfortunately just too much, you know, and they're caught off the whole time there. So unlucky. Heroic right back to saving. Nemiga right back to winning. Not really the best.
Yeah, this map is not looking great for Heroic. They really do not feel on their game right now, and it's starting. You know, we've had, I think it's safe to say, quite a few series that have been a bit of a dud, right? You know, kind of done and dusted from the first few rounds. We know who's going to win. There's no real conversation points. This one felt like it actually had the idea about being relatively competitive, the storylines behind it as well, with, of course, Tanir, what one's point, playing with these guys, and you know, they know each other very well, and it's they've obviously played against each other so many times too, but right now, Heroic yet to start. Tanir will save the AWP. He's given that luxury, at least for now. They're going for a late tunnels push, though. He's in window, and he will just about tuck his head on off, so he's okay. All kept in play. Fist bumps all around. Nemiga, loving life.
Who do you think has, like, the best name in this game?
Risky Bob's camera on up there, I reckon.
Risky Bob is up there, right?
I do.
Ask that, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd love to ask him, what, like, where's that name from? Risky Bob. I don't know.
Yeah, not just a regular Bob, because that would still be good. A risky Bob.
Bob would also be like a pretty sick name if you just called Bob and you're like a tier 1 pro player. That'd be pretty based.
No relation to your actual.
Yeah. Just like super wrong. I feel like youngsters pretty good for like you know, like kind of like the TikTok kids and that, you know, like replacing like
you know, I think
the A's with the X and stuff. That's like very. Like rappers like doing that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. You know, but like when he's playing on NIP in 10 years' time.
Oh yeah.
The older 31-year-old pros, and he's just called youngster. It's like, I don't know if that's still. He's gonna have to change it at some point, isn't he? Like to old man or whatever, you know, to kind of keep up.
Keep up with the times. There's a bit around here, potentially. 2 remaining for Heroic, but we've got for Nemiga, I say, but we've got Heroic who had left the B site and they're now pulling their way back over. LNZ is mid-rounder for Youngster to take a bit of control here, and that would be the right call. This nade could be chunky. It does go a little short, though. A nice shot from Risky Bob. 2 versus 2. Hang on a moment. Something's brewing here. LNZ waiting for a moment to pounce. He can't capitalize on the kill. Molly over to try and deny the plant. I don't know if it'll even spread enough, and it won't. So now we're retaking the B site, which is statistically one of the hardest sites to retake. In a 2 versus 2, a lot of people tagged, a lot of damage dealt, and questions about where they are. Nade and a flash, may I say, to give them space in the door. He's not peeking. Risky Bob playing for the swing, and he hits the shot. No way is this round going to be converted for Nemiga. A tag on towards Sumpires as well. Oh, Sumpires! How has he transferred that? He's got a kit, and I'm pretty sure he's got time. Oh my god, he's bailed out Heroic from a dicey spot with a ridiculous spray down.
You can't be serious. And look at him, he's just
nonchalant.
Just like, yeah, whatever, man. You know. Just another day at the office. But yeah, I mean, should have been there round. This is the thing. One of my favorite things, I don't know if lots of teams do it, but one of the earlier insights that I got into like how teams work and whatnot was from Josh Steele Nissan, actually, and James IRL when they were... Well, you know, he's working the event. He's working the event. But they were, you know, the two of them, James RL coaching Ghost. They were the brain behind it, and they had a little thing within the team that they would do after a round or say after a round, which is NGE, which means not good enough. And I think that round is an example of that from Heroic, right? Yes, they won, but they got a triple kill to kick it off. It should not be coming down to a 1v1. So... yeah, still work to be done, for sure, on that Heroic side, and they've also got to close the gap, so no celebrations just yet. Oh, I like this. However, some bias gets flattened, so it was a cool idea, just doesn't quite work.
An opener as well, on towards some bias. So off the back of a nice moment, he's immediately put in the ground again, has to watch on the sidelines. It's maybe a slightly tilting one to lose for Nemiga because it was in your grasp. But I think if you're level-headed about it, it's kind of coming back on what we were saying. That never should have been their round anyway. So the fact they even got close to it is testament to how solid they're playing. And it doesn't feel like they've been tilted. They come straight back in towards this next round and opening kill, pump the brakes, get a bit of control, and now start spacing their way out towards long. Flash will come over, does nothing, because no one was peeking from the Nemiga. And in comes the Uto. I mean, A-side's open here. This is going to be a bit of a dicey retake. And you've got Lear on the lurk. Timing could be everything. Hits a shot, and he gets out. I love that.
Oh, another as well. It's got to be the round, probably. Lear's won it out by himself. Bro, wow. They're already dead. They're already dead. Stop beating them, you know? God damn. LNZ, nothing he can do either, so yeah, this is rough. Heroic with an individual kind of move, then the clutch, but they just cannot string any together, it seems. Nemiga, as you say, don't let it get to them, right? The fact that they lose that round, they're like, all right, it's cool, we brought it close, we're keeping it competitive every single moment. How do we feel about that boost on the Xbox smoke or whatever was going on in that last... I don't know that I've ever really seen that.
Unorthodox.
Bit funky.
Wait, hang on. 5-7 up close. This is my gun. Come on. No! I keep trying to say the best bang for your buck gun, but if it doesn't get a kill, it doesn't help. So, the pistol round shut down. Yeah, I don't mind that boost, you know. I like when I just see things that are a little bit unorthodox, a little bit new. X-Cloud toying this wire a little bit there, and he's had a bit of a slow start to the game, unfortunately, the youngster. We had a, you know, in the interview yesterday, we had a bit of a question with Lear talking about Zwei, and he said that, you know, he's got a lot to do to work on, but, you know, he really believes he can be, you know, like a top tier 1 player, and apparently so do a lot of other people. Monacy, Donk, so... You know, he's been touted in a very high regard, but I don't know about you, I haven't quite seen it just yet. I always do my sort of like top 5 bold predictions on my players to watch that aren't tier 1 just yet, but I think can be. And he was, when I did my shortlist about tail end of last year coming into January, he was in that list. I think he was somewhere around like 3 or 4. And having casted Nemiga quite a lot over the span of the last couple of months, I've actually moved them out of the top 5 and just put them as sort of an honorable mention so far. I still need to record that video, but at the moment, I don't know, I haven't seen enough that like makes me convinced on like the eye test. It's just because it just always seems like he doesn't play to maybe expectations. I don't know if that's the right way of putting it.
Well, obviously, you get like a high standard set. And we talked about this, I think the first time we casted them, didn't we, the other day, when it's like the past couple that we've had, we've been right about. Yeah. Honesty gets picked up for big money and he's sick. Donk gets picked up or moved up onto Spirit main team. Everyone's saying he's going to be like incredible, unbelievably good, and we're right, you know?
Yeah.
So we're also maybe in a little bit of like, it'd be similar for the sporting brains out there to like the hot hand fallacy, right? Where the next one we call, we got to be right about, you know? The next one that you hear where it's like, oh yeah, Zwei, and there's a lot of tier 2 guys actually, especially I think Trav was pretty up on Zwei when he joined the team, one of the first out of us to cast him and whatnot, and he must have farmed or whatever. And unfortunately, I don't think he's quite hitting in the same way.
Agreed, yeah.
He'd probably go back to the online games, probably go back to the tier 2 games and still look pretty good and the best player on Nemiga. But when it comes to playing at LAN at the moment, it does seem he's having a few jitters, which is also fine. He's still very young and he could still pop off in the next couple of years, but he's not quite, like I say, hitting in that same way that Monacy or Donk does. And, you know, he might not be in that GOAT contention conversation immediately like they were, right? I still think he's going to be good. I still think give it some time. Yeah, and that's also completely fine.
Right, you know, we've got to give it the benefit of the doubt. Back in towards this one. Taneer's up close. Xanta going to clear him. Good work. Youngster's still somewhere backside and he gets one. And another as well. He's running low on ammo, so he just needs to tap away. He pulls out the reload, but he opts for the pistol, and that'll cost him his life. 2 versus 2 with 40 seconds. Flash comes over. I'm going to get this bomb down. We've had a retake on this site already once before, not too long ago. This time it's a double tunnels play for Heroic as they wrap in the backlines, and this is being held for the AK Xanta was having a little look in. They might send LNZ first and hope. Now we see a bit of a sun bias miracle once again, but there's information gain. Molly down to force him off the angle. He's spamming through the smoke, but the sun bias is all at range. Time ticking though, we gotta go. They flood on towards the site, can't. Nade will land right on his toes, and he'll get cleaned up. What a round, and what a retake.
Youngster in particular, bro, really, really good stuff from him. I see one that we got thrown in was Jim Fat from Miles NXT.
Yeah.
Someone in the chat said that he's also worked out pretty well. I'd still maybe go on to argue not quite at the same level.
Do you reckon?
Really?
I would say
he's potentially just outside of the bracket. But
I wouldn't say like
still
he's not
quite
GOAT material, but he also doesn't play those roles. Like, you know, he's like, you know,
this is true.
In terms of like supporting anchor, that kind of vibe, right? He's like a young kid who's come from an academy league straight to tier 1 and won multiple tier 1 trophies, including the most recent one. Like, I don't know, dude. For me, that is a stark success. Like, I think that is one of the most successful kind of like, you know, online to tier 1 jump ups we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely in the conversation. I just don't think he's like at the top of the conversation in the same way, you know, Monacy and Donk were. I mean, the thing is as well with like, you could look at Monacy if we're really going to microscope it. He's maybe not won as many trophies as his like eye test and the hype behind him and, you know, all that kind of stuff, especially last year when people had him in the #1 spot.
True.
So it's like, how do you really quantify it? Is it just the way they look and play, or is it sort of like you're saying as well, where they come from and what they do for the team? Like,
yeah, I think for his roles, I would actually say, like, if we do like role specific, I'd actually make the argument that like Yimfa is at that level. Like 3 major trophies, 4 of you include Betboom Datcha, but 2 Pro Leagues and a Cluj. And for his role with a young team, I don't know, man. I'd give him his respects. Like, you know, maybe Zershan, you can make that argument because of the roles he plays, right? But I think for the impact Yimmy has, I'm also a fan, so who knows?
Yeah, it's all, I think it's just one of like my
and also
kind of shadow box things around.
Zawuri in chat's put a pretty good thing. He was literally voted second best anchor in the entire world last year. I think that's a pretty. I don't know. For me, that's got to be justified as he's made it.
Yeah, well, it's definitely making it, but like, would you, in your mind and in your categorization of players, does he fit into that same bracket of discovered, picked up, and, you know, playing to like not just a world-class level, but like some of the best in the world? I think it's definitely in there. I'm slowly kind of convincing myself.
Yeah,
you know,
I would say of all the talent that's come through, I think he's easily top 5, is how I put it.
Okay, sure. Like,
of all the, like, you know, young, all these persons sort of discovered, I would say he's top 5. Is sort of how I would put it. That is a swing. He'll find a kill. Today will as well. 3 versus 2 developed pretty quickly. We're trying to escape in the smoke here, Tanir. Xanta was in hot pursuit. This is a you know, weird sort of force round that actually has looked like he's going to give a bit of something towards Roy. I don't know. Some Pius. Yeah, I'm going to say if Linus doesn't catch him, some Pius will. So it's Khan left all alone. Bomb on his back in a 1 versus 3. But make that a 1 versus 2 now as well. Smoke down towards doors. That'll give him the cross if he wants to. He's trying to catch the spam. Is it a tap or is it a stick? It's a stick, and that'll cost him his life. And that'll be the round, and that'll be the half. 8-4, Nemiga. Honestly, a really, really good start coming through for them. You know, for Nemiga, we had question marks about them so far in this tournament and how far they go. And this is not a bad start to their map pick. Dust2 looking very clean, 8-4.
Yeah, Heroic just can't keep that all-important consistency. We talk about it a lot, but I think it is, you know, very much an important part of the game, and they just never really had a solid presence. But again, they hit that sort of bare minimum. We've got both teams. Nemiga are going to be quite happy, of course, but we do have Heroic that are like, okay, at least we're still in the conversation and competing here. Should be able, with a pistol, to close that gap, so on and so on. But Nemiga's pick of Dust2 working out pretty nicely here. We'll see you in a few.
Alrighty, welcome back in second half. About to get underway, and honestly, it's Nemiga out the gates who have been looking absolutely fantastic. 8-4 is the spot that they are in. But even what we've seen from Heroic, the rounds they've been taking, one of which required some pious in a masterful 1v2 clutch. Another one was a 2v2 that felt like it really could have very easily fallen flat. So I don't think Heroic have convinced themselves just yet that they are in this game. They're competitive right now. But Dust2 Round, that might just do it. Nemiga now on towards that CT side. T side is generally what teams prefer on Dust2. The start, though, is not good. Tanir gets caught by Zwei, who wants to stick around for more. Has to pull off a reload, and Xanta overextends. It's still a little bit of chaos in the server. And Zwei gets caught in 2 mines. So Youngster will capitalize upon it. 2 versus 2.
Yeah, it feels like there should have been more kills almost with how much fighting was going down. So the fact we're in a 2 versus 2 is messing with my brain. Lear's here early. Can't stop them moving in, but that bomb is a little late. Smoke comes down eventually, trying to block it, get ahead of it. Is indeed Khan. Again, no shots landing here. Such a weird pistol. They're on top of each other. That is not ideal. Lear with the big find. It's the Glock out for Youngster as he runs low on ammo. Going to go in for that hold. They're looking to 2-man swing in. He just about gets the bomb down and gets around the corner. Resets the game to try and find the heads. Not going to happen in the end, but he is awfully, awfully close. Still a huge one for Nemiga, and you can see what it means and what they're going to be able to do with it now.
Yeah, that is honestly massive. It's good that we get to see like a bomb plant come out, because that could allow Heroic to force buy right back in if they want to, but they needed a pistol. They just needed to alleviate a lot of the pressure here, and that'll make things a lot harder. Well done, my Khan, out of the tail end. Nice as well. That's what we like to hear. Celebrations coming through, and Nemiga getting fired up, and deservedly so. They are 5 rounds up on Heroic right now. I don't think many of you at home would have been expecting this one. Yes, it is Nemiga's map pick, but Heroic always would come in as the overall series favourites. Not playing like it right now. Zwei to start catching Youngster. That's one of the few premium guns already down and dropped. A smoke will come through, but actually a smoke that Risky Bob can play around.
Oh. X-Floud. Just got to watch himself. Trying to get that upgrade, of course. Spam's pretty good here. AK trying to return it. Not quite going to happen. I was going to say this is dangerous because Risky Bob was low on ammo. I think he needed to sneak in a reload there to just give the full cover. Sight gets overwhelmed pretty easily. And with this AK in business, I think you start to worry, don't you? B-bomb site, infamously hard to retake, of course. There is a kit. There's a flash. That's really about all they've got. Lear reveals himself. Who goes in first is always the conversation on a B retake. Not gonna happen. Goodness me. Some Pius doesn't even realize he got that frag. And Khan has to back off. So kind of a mess there from Nemiga. They had 2 on the site. It felt like they were in a good spot.
It's true. It's honestly a good response, and Heroic, they needed it. It's one where we can talk about how, sure, it's all well and good getting the pistol, right? But the force buy makes a lot more sense, I think, in the sense, because now we can start spiraling forward. And we should expect the force buy to come back in response from Nemiga. They're in double eco. Their economy is still a little bit worse for wear in this next round, so you may just want to try and do anything you can to support this one save rifle, but at least can have a conversation before they get there. Box on the mic. This is their second, on a third, may I say, for Nemiga. Timeout, previous one in round 10, so all timeouts have been called, despite actually having quite an extensive lead as well. But an MR12, it's so feeble. It can so quickly be eradicated. So I understand this thought process here of where you want to just rein things in a little bit. As a just in case. Heroic are not a bad spot, though. If they can get this next round, money gets broken, and then we can start talking about them spiraling and closing out on that deficit very, very rapidly.
You know, my question, I've just thought, like, thinking of things to talk about. What happened to Season? Where did that map go?
I think it was
kind of
terrible. I think, if I'm right in saying.
I think you might be right that it's like it was in,
bad.
And then like even in comp, right?
Yeah.
You know, pro play a little bit in some leagues, I think, and then Valve just kind of got rid of it, and I think everyone was happy that they got rid of it.
Yeah, I agree. There's a very quick BXQ here. My Heroic flying in towards the site. I mean, there's no questions about it. Xanta just left to save an AK if he can. It should be okay to do so. He was spotted in towards top of short, but I don't know if actually he's going to get cleared this late in the round. I think they might give him the respect to keep hold of that. They don't have a lot of long-term econ themselves. Oh, well. 9-6. And with that being a force by, obviously, an eco in towards the next round here, Heroic can make this a 2-round game. 2-round game basically locks it in place so that it's 1 gun round the difference.
Curious to see what Nemiga have got in store. I think a weird kind of game state that they find themselves in. This gap closes a bit quicker than they would expect or like. Ooh, nice nade. Keen dink here could make all the difference. Khan just makes it around that corner. We are in for another B stack and another classic. As soon as a team goes in for a stack, there'll be no one here. So round probably swings the way of Heroic pretty easily. Youngster spots all the info, so they'll feel safer about their A hit in just a moment here. A couple kills coming round as well, so probably see the AK start to think about saving now.
Yeah, I think it's just the right way to go about it. Can't gonna get caught on the retreat. You got an AK, you got a 5-7, keep hold of them here. Bomb will go down, round will be 1. Like we said, 2-round game. And this is, you know, from what was a really dominant sort of half, and how things were kind of kick-started, and Nemiga building up such a strong gap over Heroic. It's now a 1-gun round being the difference. This very feeble position that they're in is probably actually really concerning for them. And now no more timeouts either. It's going to make things considerably harder. It's just a really awkward spot that Nemiga sort of put themselves into. I'd say at least with an AK save, it's something to work with. I don't know if we've got enough here for an AWP to be dropped over towards Khans. They might have to just play 4 rifles for this Nemiga side, but they're in a bit of a predicament. Heroic are very quickly closing down the gap, and it's the same thing where, you know, Nemiga, even if they were to find a 10th here, yes, it'd be good, but it wouldn't affect the money over towards Heroic. They'd rebuy back in, no issues. On the flip side, Heroic find that 8th here, money's broken, game's tied up, and with how momentum's feeling, you'd argue it should go the way of Heroic. Shot was close there. That's why he gets across.
Just about. Pretty big round here. I think this one could decide things, honestly. Heroic have got so much momentum at the moment, looking pretty dangerous. It's just going to be a straight up B execute, so no messing around, no giving the game away though. Importantly, Zvire's just left in a raw aim duel situation. He finds 2. It's Bob through the smoke. No risks here today as he will just spam away and find a frag. 4 versus 2 before the bomb's even gone down.
Molly airburst there as well. Alright, saying I think an airburst because it landed on X-Floud's head. So doesn't happen all too often. Swinging a 5 from him. A trade comes through short. 1 versus 3, some Pyres. I don't know if he'd expect all the way from spawn. And he won't. Xanta gets in behind. Nemiga needed that round. And not only did they needed it as cleanly as that as well. An AWP for Khan to be picked up. A double AK and 3 staying alive. So important for them. My God. That is a massive, massive round to be taking. And once again, alleviates a bit of this pressure that felt like it was building up. A really decent shutdown towards B. Ekton had to get both on that window swing, and the fact that he doesn't probably kills them. Yes, Leah. That's what we want to hear. They're feeling it again. Good. That's what we need. That's when Nemiga feel like they do their best work. When they get fired up, loose style of Counter-Strike, Leah losing his mind with the war cries. I'm back to believing.
Yeah.
The doubts are gone.
Vibes CS, bro.
That's
Vibes
tier 2
CS.
EU in a nutshell.
Well, it is. It is indeed. Especially with these, CIS regen.
Yeah.
I think they just go crazy. Yeah. Dangerous territory here. Heroic take a timeout. They're going to have to bounce back. They've done decently well. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I wouldn't say it's death-defying quite yet. Not their map pick necessarily, all this kind of stuff, but you want to be winning every map, every game you play. It has to be the mindset, particularly when you are at this stage of risk. It could all blow up in your face in just a couple hours' time.
Some bias waiting for a swing. Waiting for somebody to push those tunnels. XR gonna pop Linus over. There's no one there. Minute to work with. They really do like this B site Heroic, and I mean it makes sense if you can get a post plant, but getting out in itself is not always the easiest. Oh, risky Bob. Oh, that spam is brutal. Youngster was just trying to, well, risk it himself by pushing the smoke. It'll cost him, but then Leah gets caught by an X-Fouled lurk. Speaking of lurks, Xanta's push long. What is happening in this round? Flank upon flank, and they're now going to go back towards A.
Yeah, kind of a crazy turn of affairs. What we're going to see here, folks. Oh, the tag could make a difference. Can they deal with Khan trying to just sort of smoke him off? But he's still pretty confident.
Oh.
To go rolling in. Timing is nasty. Oh, near up close. Oh my goodness. Crazy AWP work from Khan there to hold on to that A side.
Santa's happy. He's really making sure. Yeah, and Leah expressing his gratitude. Khan has stepped up in a humongous way backside there. First, as that smoke, he used the gap to find that short player here, and then jumping up on the box. It's a quick shot. It's not an easy shot towards Tanir as well. Super well played. Look at it. Santa's just really expressing his gratitude. Thank you so much. You've bailed us out. 11-7, 2 rounds away now for Nemiga. And it looks like Heroic are running out of ideas. A very quick mid to B split, but risky Bob finds the first. Why with the second? Can't nail it behind though. So a quick little trade here, and B side's open.
They just saving? Or is... Yeah,
I don't even actually blame them here. They haven't got a lot of economy. I don't, like, you know, retaking the B site, it's brutal, dude.
And you're so far away, right? They're going to have, like, hardly any
How would you fix that? What are the... I know, obviously, this is something that Sponge has brought up before about Dust2 in particular. Like, first of all, you shouldn't be able to save on the site. That's a given, right? That shouldn't be the case, but... I was trying to brainstorm, how do you make the B site a little bit more retakeable? And I don't know what you'd even do. It'd probably have to be something to do with the doors.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely changed when they flipped the doors. That small little change, I think, just gives a bit more vision to a CT side. If they get there in good time, like if they know it's going to be a B hit or whatever, they can do a bit more with it. I think, obviously, in this case, they were just really far away. I'm not sure. I think it would just need, like, a bit of a restructure. I think it's like the tunnel area.
Yeah,
maybe open the tunnels a bit further back or something. Like, don't make it quite as long. And then it just gives you more space to work with when you come out on the retake. You don't have this... It's the car area, isn't it, that I think it just makes it quite hard to full clear. Basically means that, you know, your tunnel guy... you either just leave him to do his own thing or don't even send anyone tunnels on a retake.
Look at this.
Maybe get rid of like back plat, you know?
One dumpster separates Tania and Xanta. I don't know if they'll know about each other. Some bias definitely doesn't. And Tania couldn't trade immediately to Xanta. I don't know if he realizes Tania's even here. They snuck past. There was a barrage of smoke, so the molly will come down. Now they'll know. Tania is low. He's trying to get support from LMZ, and he does. Oh my god, it was such a weird start to that round. But at least they bought time for...
Xanta needed to trade that one.
Yeah, they bought time for the rotation. Risky pop, anti-flash. FAMAS up close. FAMAS 1.5. Orb swing and a miss. And Khan... he hits one mess up and he gets out. And that's all that matters. This is absolute chaos here. Flash over. Khan will reposition now to try and catch them on the ramp. Cross. And the shot breaks open the smoke. What is happening here? And a late push. No! Why? What are we doing? What are we doing? That's probably costing the round. I think Khan's just got to save.
Yeah, I mean, he's way too low to move in there by himself. Oh, God, that is awful. Awful to watch. I mean, it's max range. It's dangerous. He's kind of played it sort of correctly. I mean, just shoot him in the head. Take your time. But, you know, he's bursting it down. He's not just spraying and praying. Yeah, I think that's kind of how I would feel after that one as well. Yikes. That is a big yikes.
That's so tilting. That's so tilting.
Yeah.
I know, it's moments like that where it comes back to this narrative we brought about, you know, Donk and Monacy have given this guy kind of the number one, and I'm just not convinced. And that looked like it was nerves more than anything. Yeah. He was well off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's not looking at you, mate. He's not looking at you. Just take your time, and I think that's it. Like, you get in this, as you say, slightly nervy, on edge kind of play style that it's like, as soon as you see an enemy, you got to shoot at him and, you know, he's going to kill me. You get like very panicked, and you have to be calm in these moments. You have to be just, not panicking, basically. And I think he doesn't quite have that, does he?
Yeah, I just didn't have probably the confidence to back himself. That's just brutal. I mean, it is a tilting one without a shadow of a doubt. He's not on a bad map, in all fairness. 12 and 15 is not terrible, especially if you win. It'll be ultimately sort of who cares, but some bias. Creeping his way. Oh, both spotted each other, and I think quite smartly so. The pistol's waiting for them to get a little closer. Util over, but it's just a massacre. Nice shot by Khan, but a lot more that needs to be done by the AWP here. And they might just completely pull away and go towards B.
Yeah, just ignore him. Do you see the big news of the day, bro? You see the big news? Roy has retired.
I did. Honestly, fair play. You know, he's had a good career. It was good timing. He's also joined. He's become an agent now, like a talent partnerships manager, an agent.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, it's a good time. It was like 30 something. So,
he also started very late. That's the kind of cool story with Roy, is that,
like Jax, for example, right?
Going pro until 25.
Yeah, Jax is another one like that. One of the few rare ones who weren't, I guess, like, you know, grinding when they were kind of kids and essentially had all the free time. But yeah, good career, honestly, I think, for when he started and what he was able to achieve, and being a bit of a journeyman, but also like very important for his domestic scene too. So
I might be able to unmute him now on Twitter. I think I had him muted for a while because, you know, he used to post the smiley face like, I think like a 10-year-old.
Yes, yeah. I do.
It was funny like once, and then when he just made it his whole like brand, I was like, right, this guy's getting muted, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I just don't want to see that on my timeline.
Gotta go. Yeah, that's fair enough. We're in a one-round game here. Round number 22, 11-10 still. Double stack short. X-Floud here is going to molly up close. That flash was absolutely sumptuous from Xanta. Not a damn thing X-Floud could do there. Brutal timing, because it's just as he's pushing a little further forward to bang that molly off the window, and he gets caught by the flash. But an opening kill for Nemiga get this round, you get 12, you put the pressure on Heroic. If you're able to go a map up in the series, who knows? Some Pious creeping round. Oh my god, flashback. Or a smoke man say comes over. Khan might just play full contact here. I don't know. Are they going to clear him? Not effectively. Spots the bomb. Gets the second. Khan. Beautiful pistol pulled out. And he gets to the Portalia. That is huge. Lost. Man of some Pious already tagged in that pit. And his nade breaks it open, which potentially could have cost him his life. But surely, yeah, he knows there is zero chance he is saving this AWP. Glock pulled out. He's trying to fight up around it as well. But he's being flanked. This one is done. It's the Nemiga map point on their map pick. And he will go down in the end. And obviously, you know, a good choice to drop the AWP because I'm pretty sure they can't afford one at all. I think they've only got about $3.5 grand or so to work with. So I think that's a very smart decision.
Yeah. In isolation. Just unfortunate, really, you know. First guy's playing anti-flash. They're not quite sure what they're going to do. That is the risk of contacting up. And they just were not ready for the car guy. So, you know, if there's no on car, I think it's quite a nice play. They are way ahead of that smoke that got thrown. They could have been the ones doing the catching off, but not the case today. Wide swing comes in. Are you serious? We're both set up for that as well. That's just crazy. That is just crazy. Zwei gets the double, and certainly he's been under the microscope in this series. We've been talking about him a lot. Maybe, just maybe, he's had the impact when it matters. True.
That's a very nice double to step up with, and a good trade to keep numbers in favor. 4 versus 3. I mean, obviously, he's tagged down low. 1 minute 10 to get this final round. Lear going to play up close. We've still got this double play in tunnels. I don't love the idea about pushing because that gives some Pious the chance to isolate fights. Now we're back into a different spot. Then could be going back towards B, and that would be the right call. Khan going to try and go through mid. The flash! Does it work? It does. It just about. On towards Linus. The spam nearly got something behind it. Now Zwei, as the smoke comes down towards door, he's alone here, and he will get nailed. Swing and a miss from Khan. 1 versus 2 for Xanta. To win this map, for Nemiga, he's going to try and creep through the smoke. No, he opts against it, opting for a window play. And another smoke comes down. Xanta moves his way forward, spots one, but he can't deliver. Heroic, secure an 11th. And we need the full 24 rounds to decide this.
Hey, I am happy, bro. This is probably the first map and series that we're getting that feels like the stakes are being answered to. You know, we've had some very one-sided affairs on our shifts. Deserving of an overtime. Plenty of clutches, plenty of really nice post-plant moments. Feels like whenever Heroic get into that B bomb site, they're winning the round, right? Maybe that's something that they tap into. Oh, man, look at the buy, bro. It is awful for Nemiga. Surely an overtime here.
I think, for me, the one thing that I'll come back to is that idea to push tunnels at that point. Just why? I don't get why you needed to. Your numbers advantage in a 2-2 split. All you had to do was sit back there. And I know I mentioned earlier, but I like when teams do things a little bit kind of proactive, but I just felt like it wasn't worth the risk because the guy pushing is the guy with full HP and you're leaving Zwei with 35 HP alone on the site. And obviously it wasn't going to work out for him. So it's difficult, man. Tough predicament. Zwei going to drop a smoke. I'm obviously going to give away his position. Yeah, he was, unfortunately, always dead in that spot. Linus, fine for him. On towards Lear. X-File going to drop Risky Bob. This round is done. Overtime required. Running a gun for Xanta is not going to amount to anything. And a flawless round to close it out. Overtime required here. And Nemiga have really let this game, this map, slip away from their grasp.
Not a good look. They started off so very well. Their pick going swimmingly. And now anything but, I think it makes the conversation very, very interesting indeed, and particularly if this carries on and Heroic are able to take things. Then they've got Mirage coming up next, right? So Nemiga, for all their vibes Counter-Strike, and they were looking good, looking happy. Plenty of clutch moments went their way in the first half, right? They're going to need this, I think. It will knock them for 6 if things slip through their fingers.
Xanta gets caught. Start things off. Not what you want to see. Linus has managed to tuck himself. And he actually gets back out over towards tunnels. That's probably the safer spot to be in. Oh, Khan was going aggro there, and it felt like he had the right idea. I think it's nailed by X-Cloud. A swing and a hit as well on towards Leah. Util and Handle cost him his life, but this round should be done. It's a 2 versus 4. That's why spots and drops one in towards it. Oh my god, he might get another, but his crosshair goes wayward. And leaves Risky Bob all alone. 1 versus 3. They only know of 2 as well. He still feels like there's a late lurk brewing somewhere. Finds one. Hang on a second. Finds a second. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my god, missed shot of the AWP.
Oh no.
No way is Risky Bob going to pull this off. 1 versus 3. Pulls out the pistol. Oh, and he dances round the site. How have Heroic let that round slip? What are we doing, boys? Why is the Bricks player not peeking? Why have we fought like that? 1v1 in a 3v1, and you've gifted it over to Big Man Bob.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it is a yikes. It is a yikes. The late peak from Pius and then missing the shot. You know what I mean? I think as soon as this player goes down, you've got to peek it. You've got to peek it, especially if your teammate is hiding and then he pops up. There should be a coordinated move there. He can't even believe it. Liz like, no way. Really? Oh, my goodness. That is... yeah, incredible scenes, and surely got to give Nemiga the boost that they were looking for. They've been very flat for quite a few rounds. Happy to be in the overtime, it feels like, you know, with how regulation was going. But a clutch like that could turn the tides. You don't have a lot of time to readjust, right, when you're in the OT.
Wow. After losing a round like that for Heroic, I wonder how tilted they're going to feel. Oh, they're looking like they want to go quick B. Oh, it does work. They should never have got away with that. I know the flash was decent, but it should have been an easy one. Xanta gets one, drops a smoke. That's going to actually probably make his life quite difficult to deal with. Oh, I say, because Khan spots just a pixel above that smoke, and it's enough. So now they know Xanta's somewhere in this pit, and they're just waiting to avoid him. Khan's obviously... oh my god, he's also in the open himself, and he gets caught. Youngster gonna hit both. Lovely little double.
Yeah, that's a good way to answer back. Keep the round alive. Svai, I think, may well have been heard here. He's probably expecting them to be further up long than this, but he still wins the fights. Some Pius with another miss. Keep track of those. I'm sure Twitch chat's having a field day right now on these some Pius misses. He does indeed take the frag eventually. It's AWP v AWP, Risky Bob. And yet another clutch against some Pius as the final player that he's got to find. So, yeah, this one could be just as big as the last. Oh, the molly. Dangerous game. Sun Pius, though, ready on the corner. Doesn't matter. Keeps his cool this time around and will clutch it up. So here we are. Big rounds being secured by both sides.
Risky. Pardon the pun. Because Bob was still alive and kicking. But honestly, it's a very scrappy and weird round, wasn't it? And with those missed shots, it kind of comes back to the point that we've spoken about a bit, Scriv, where we said, I'm still not seeing that, you know, extra cutting edge out of some Pius. Yes, his stats aren't bad, but I feel like I just want a little bit more. Well, at least we're a tied square. He does the one job required of him there. Win out that 1 versus 1. Boost up here by Khan. Oh, gets close, but not good enough.
Oh, yikes. Youngster struggling. First kill going to go the way of Nemiga. So what do we have here? What is the response from Heroic to try and give them that 1 round advantage? Flash comes over. Lear is unbothered. Just a casual drop into CT. So they'll give the control up, but no kills coming back for Heroic yet.
Start playing up close. Flash over. They're a little bit worried about that mid play, understandably. But now they've got enough resources in that direction. Double push long, one of which being the AWP. They gonna come over. That does a real decent amount of damage, softening them up quite nicely. Leah, how does he get out? And no right to do so, but Zwei in the corner, he delivers on towards Exxon. AWP on sight. Khan nails the shot as Tania gets deleted, and same situation for LNZ. It's Nemiga who take a lead at the half, 14-13. What a game we are getting here. Nemiga just doing enough to stay out of arm's reach.
Yeah, just about. I mean, this is what happens. The shift of momentum is always inevitable. Such a big clutch, though, in from Risky Bob. May well be the moment we look back to, right, on this map as the keen turning point. So we'll see a swap up here. Oh, Risky Bob. Press mouse 1, my guy. He just never did, you know? I think there was a pretty decent window there for him to just randomly fire off a shot and get a kill.
The same vein that Nemiga were doing here. Heroic now going for a tunnels push. But there isn't anybody there for them to meet, bar Zwei holding outside of tunnels itself. And Youngster just not going to clear this. That's a crazy angle to hold, but the fact that it works, a lot of credit. Nemiga have read into that. I think obviously a lot has to be credit given towards Leah to understand that this is a possibility. There's a double pump here. Shot by Tobias, gets both. Oh, the collat on towards Xanta and Risky Bob, and LNZ up close. That gets the bomb, that gets the round, surely. 2 versus 4.
Yeah, you would say surely. But never over until it's over. Zwei looking to battle back. Another missed AWP shot. Always seems to be a pretty bad omen in these clutch situations. It is just getting that bomb back, though, as you kind of allude to, that's going to be the problem. Counting down the bullets. Catching them on the reloads. Get the bomb. Yep. Only 20-ish seconds or so to get this going, so they have to make a decision on what they want to do and where they want to go. They really do not have a lot of time, and I think Heroic are starting to figure that out, so they're moving away, looking to defend the bomb sites themselves. 9 seconds to get this plant in. Like, the guy with the bomb has to be just bomb out on the site, going for it. It's into the 1 versus 1, though. Can't quite make it up, unfortunately. Zwei, loses his head, but I don't think he had time. It was right on the wire. Either way, well played in the end, because that did get a bit close for a 2.
Yeah, it got a little hairy for a second there, honestly. But, well, that matters. Round 1 for Heroic. It should have been one off the back of that collat alone, but the fact that it got close, it still gives us credit to Nemiga, who are still remaining very, very decent in their own regard. All right, and LNZ letting them know as well. So Bias to catch Zwei, to open things up. He's picked up his individual form a little bit, the Youngster, but you have to watch on from the side into round number 29. 14 all. This game still feels so difficult to predict. Every time an advantage is there, it just feels like it never gets capitalized upon.
Yeah, the fatigue setting in of being on a map like Dust2 as well for so long.
Yeah.
I think you are going to start to get a little bored of the tedium. You know, we like Dust2, it's a classic map, but it functions very, 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 very similar almost every single round. There's only really 2 or 3 variations of a T-side round, to be honest.
Leah trying to get out towards mid. Molly boxes up close. Oh, he did spot the shoulder, but he was in two minds about committing, and Molotov makes the decision for him. So Pi's falling back on towards long corner, and he'll realize there's something brewing up towards Cat. And Molly CT and a shallow smoke behind it as well. They're trying to boost up. But Sunpai's in position, everything. We've got 20 seconds. We've got to go, boys. They've got to try and get the AWP off the angle, and they can't. So Sunpai's nails the first as Xanta gets caught on the cross. They will be given the luxury of the site, but this post-spawn is not easy. 5 versus 3. Nade overlands directly at the feet of Khan. This round is got to be won 9 times out of 10 by Heroic, unless they grossly misplay this situation. It looks like it'll be LNZ first to fight. Khan on the angle himself. Flash comes over, trying to give LNZ a bit of space to work with. Shot hit by Risky Bob and Lear. Hang on a moment. A lot of damage dealt. 10 points of HP between 2 of their players. But they're fighting and they're losing. That's a 5 versus 3 loss with 2 players on single-digit points of HP. Heroic, what are we doing?
I was going to say 5v3, but none of them went short at all. So they're all coming in from like super hard angles. The post plant is set up perfectly. There's no threat from the side. It's just straight up fights, straight up headshots. All right. Leah still feeling it, even though we are deep into the game. Nice and vocal. No idea what he said, but, you know, I'm sure it was something slightly rude, like, you're bad, you know?
Right, but still a real tough predicament. 15 to 14. Map point again, Nemiga. A nice nade to start it off as Xanta gets caught for half.
Some pious on the angle. Yeah, thinks better of it, and he would be correct. That nade would have eaten him alive. What are we thinking? Is it another overtime? Or can Nemiga get it done here and now?
I don't know. In terms of my thinking, I'm just looking at this round brewing and saying, it's not a good start, youngsters. He somehow actually avoided the molly spread. Uh-oh. He's got damage on towards the third as well. He finally gets clotheslined. Uh-oh. 2 versus 3. But look at the HP of Nemiga. Still a chance here for Heroic. Molly gets extinguished by a smoke that was left lingering from earlier. That makes this 2v3 all the more harder. They're all shelled up on the site. Some pious with an AWP on a retake's difficult. LNZ's got the kit. They can't spot anything. No information. There's the first. Trying to get the second, but can't. Will support. AWP through the window is not good enough. 16-14. Nemiga take map 1. And actually one of the best maps we have seen so far at Pro League.
Yeah, I mean, monstrous from them for sure. Really, really keen start to the game. They did fall off. They were ebbing and flowing, and it just about swung back in their favor.
All too well from our FPL pugs. I mean, Xanta's #1 in FPL right now, so he'll know it very well. I'm sure it's played 70% of the time. And let's see if it's enough. Nemiga going to be starting, of course, on that CT side. It's Heroic who start on the T side. And Nemiga are 1 map away from eliminating Heroic from Pro League in stage 1, no less.
I think you sum it up quite well, though. I think they want this on the Nemiga side. The revenge arc is what Lear gave us, and it's exactly what we've been getting thus far, delivering in a massive way. Xanta overwhelmed. It was 4 on A. They were expecting an A hit. Heroic mix things up and go B with a pretty keen take. This is going to be tough for Nemiga to get back in, but not if you've got Svi hitting shots like that Flank is coming round. It's super, super, super late here. The rest of the team's already in the bomb site itself. So see what happens when that activates. The answer is not very much. Vi comes around with another. We got a smoke onto the bomb, but they never get near it. Heroic will secure.
Yeah, nice work. Nice work. Heroic start well out the gates, flying into fights. And again, sort of, I think, igniting a little bit of that inner belief that, all right, you know, Dust2 fell apart, and it was maybe sort of even like our fault, but we do have the ability to change things in towards this one. And all right, they're getting fired up early. Maybe a little too early to get overly fired up. Let's not kind of chickens before they hatch. But a 1-0 start for Heroic is good. Gamble stack for Nemiga on the CT side. Just going to hope they go back towards B.
Is Mirage maybe the map that needs removing? Like for I don't know.
The one thing
we talk about this quite a lot, but
I mean, this is a good proposition for yourself, for everyone at home watching as well. We'll have a look at the Twitch chat. You can let us know if one map was going to be removed in replacement for Cash. What map do you think it would be? Now, if it was me, I'm saying Inferno.
Okay.
That's mine I'm getting rid of. I actually think Mirage basically can't get removed for one reason in particular, which is just the fact that it's so popular in, you know, and Premiere and things like that, you know, you can't make all our decisions based off the competitive scene. But at the same time, I think this has been an argument that basically nobody can dispute, is that actually Mirage produces some of the best maps of Tier 1. It has been the case for a while. A lot of bangers have come from Tier 1 on Mirage. So I actually think, you know, people can hate on Mirage just because it's been around for a while, but I always think it's in vain. I just don't ever think that map will be touched, unfortunately. But yeah. Inferno though, that one can go to hell. Fuck that.
I think Mirage as well. Hey, yo, that's a reference.
I hate that map.
You've hit a reference, mate. You've done a little play on words also.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, Mirage is like, you know, varied enough that it's interesting, but not so varied that it's random. Been around long enough that, you know, as we like to say, as a going line, pretty much everybody can play it. So therefore, it's never a done deal, right? It's not a map that you come into where it's like, right, these guys can't play Ancient very well. It's probably over before it's even really going to get going. Mirage always has that underlying chance. Speaking of, xFloud given a chance across to Heroic here. Pretty crisp to open things up. Zvi gets into the mixture, but will get dropped quite quickly. We got another crazy guy in the form of Khan, and we're 1v1. What is going on here? You spoke about Pugs and some of the Nemiga guys being quite high up. This was the guy.
Yeah,
FPL
one in the world right now.
#1. Yeah, we're going to find out whether he can put his money where his mouth is, I suppose. He is low HP. He's got that kit, but he really does just have to get the drop on Sun Pius, who's playing the obvious angle at the end of the day. Not really all that much in it. Santa does not fancy his chances here. He knows it's going to be tough in the straight-up 1v1. Sun Pius tries to drop him, can't quite land the shot. But second time of asking, he does well enough. So, Heroic looking good here as they get their 3 in a row.
They're playing relentlessly quick here, Heroic, and I really like how aggressive they are. I mean, xFloud in particular, this second reactive shot there is so well done. And they need that. They need to kind of keep setting the tone and keep playing with the pace a little bit and just continue to make Nemiga feel uncomfortable. They're not on easy side to sort of get off their game a little bit. And as we saw that in towards Dust2, Nemiga so far are struggling. One player in towards mid. Can't. In that smoke. A couple of running pop shots as he gets out. Hoping for a bit of good fortune. It won't be the case.
But yeah, to bring it back, I'd be down to agree with you, I think. Inferno probably.
I think Inferno's so boring. Like, you know, like... Yeah. You got to blame Jame a little bit. I think he's got to take some of the fault.
It's possible.
You know what I mean? But...
Me personally,
also,
like
I would say Dust2's up there as well. I can't lie. I wasn't happy that map got brought back.
It's just a bit too recent. It's also like... Yeah. You know, it's in the DNA of Counter-Strike. I think Inferno's also in that argument for sure, but... then maybe so was Overpass, and that just randomly got removed. So, you know, we're never really 100% sure. But Inferno does feel like the consensus, right? I think high-level players, mid-level players, pro players, whatever, don't really enjoy the map so much. I don't really see it. For me, it's a bit of a classic, but that's only because, like, the only maps I've ever really played heavily are, like, Inferno and Cache.
Sure.
Never really got into the rest of the field to that high kind of level. You know, back in the day, you just queue the one map and try and get global.
That was new to me.
Yeah, fair. I know Vertigo, the Vertiglobals were pretty strong, especially before they changed the map and like brought in an active map pool and everything. People just playing the old Vertigo. But yeah, I think Inferno, wherever I look, wherever I turn, it does seem like people don't really enjoy it anymore, particularly into CS2. I think with the removal of skyboxes, it's made a big old difference to the rotation of nades and predicting executes and whatnot.
Drop my hot take, actually. My hot take is I actually don't think Cache should come back. So first of all, and this is something that Hugo touched on, for those who are watching right at the start of the show, I don't think Cache will come back. I've been saying this a lot for a while now to people. Valve, so when Anubis was added into the pool, it was not owned by Valve initially, but it was added into the competitive map pool. And I'm sure all of you at home remember when Anubis had those clipping issues where there was like invisible walls that nades are bouncing off and stuff like that. Anyway, it took longer to fix because Valve didn't own the map. It had to be fixed by the map creator or whatever, right? So hence why Valve changed their thing of any maps that are in the comp pool they have to own. Hence why they paid for it, right? And then obviously all came out. I don't think Cache will ever be sold. FM Pone and Volcano and all the rest. Volcano, by the way, who is a Valorant map creator, the Valorant map creator now. So that, I don't know if that, you know, changes things at all. But I don't know if they'll sell it. They've always said in the past that they don't need to sell it. They always want to own it. So my hot take is actually, I think we should get a new map. That's why map core is the thing. And I'll come back to that point in a minute, because there's a round brewing here. Tanae's found Zwei in towards mid. I thought it was going to be a pretty simple shutdown by Nemiga, but with Khan being low, there's maybe a little bit of a chance here. Youngsters in the backlines too. Oh my god, this is a very weird one. Youngsters trying to, I think maybe just pull them back over towards B. Xanta's close enough here, and there's a CT player, a Khan, who finds that kill. So it's all down to Xanta. In this first engagement, can he catch the bomb? He can't. So that's a guarantee to go down at the very least. Winning the round, however, a different story. And Xanta will see him off. An AK to be upgraded. The round to be won by Nemiga, and they're first on the board.
Risky swing. Risky swing to go in there, to be honest, but
not quite Bob.
Yeah, not quite on the levels of Bob. Risky Xanta. I mean, that doesn't sound so bad. It's quite a long name.
Yeah.
It sounds okay.
Yeah, so come back to my hot take. I don't think they should bring Cache back in. I think they should put a new map in. We've got map core. That's why we've got people who professionally kind of vote on it and make them. And I would like to see something new. CS is a new game. We don't have to keep bringing back the old. Don't bring back Hobble. Don't bring back Cache. Bring something new. It's a new game. Let's have new maps. Let's keep.
I mean, I definitely agree for like Premiere and whatnot, but I do think it should be, you know, on the menu, and I can queue it like for MM or whatever. Like, I understand in Premiere, but and you have those MM maps. They're not going to need as much work. They're not going to need as much attention to detail or whatever. So they potentially don't need to own it, right? Surely they can just add it in if it's cool with the creators of Cache to do so. Because I just feel like we should allow casual players and whatnot to just hop in and be like, yeah, I want to play Cache today. I don't care about, I just want to play the map and have some fun, you know? So hopefully it gets added back in and it's nice and accessible in some way. Oof. Unlucky, Heroic right back in. This is looking like the start of Dust2, but this time it's the Heroic story. Yeah. Nemiga, I have to be slightly worried here.
Zawuri in chat brought up a pretty good point, and he said, you know, why would FMPone spend 2 years remaking the map and then not want to get paid for his work and make the map available to the community? So it's not that FMPone doesn't want to get paid. He just doesn't want to sell the rights to it. He wants to always own it, or at least what he said in the past. But he said to Valve, you know, put it in. I'm happy for you to put it in the map pool, but I'm not going to let you own it. Whereas if the map's going to be in the competitive pool, Valve want to own it. So it's who breaks first, and I just don't think it will be FMPone from at least what I've sort of heard in the past, right? He wants to always own that map, and Valve always want to own the map if it's in the comp pool. So I think there's a good chance it could come in towards your MMs and be like, you know, like Basalt is in a way. It's never going to be in the competitive map pool, but you can play it casually, that kind of vibe, right? Might be one of those, but
if it's a bit buggy, who cares at the end? You know, if it takes
Basalt's
a bit of time,
buggy as hell.
Get them pushed, like it doesn't really matter. It's a for fun map, this is something that I think we forget, that the vast majority of people that play the game, I think, are not great at it and are more like for fun gamers, just, you know, playing a couple games, having a few brewskis after work or whatever, which is obviously, it can be a bit foreign to guys like you and me, because I think even playing at a mid-level or whatever, every game that I'm playing, I'm like, I want to win. Winning is fun. That's what I'm here for. Whereas I think some people are perfectly happy just sort of running around, goofing about, buying auto shotguns, you know, and just having a good time with their friends.
Yeah, it's true. It is very, very true. Pretty wild shot by Tanir there as well, has to be said, on that smoke, but Heroic continued to look very, very good. And hence why we were saying, maybe not in the way that we thought it was going to be, but they should take their own map picks and they should be able to head in towards that third map, the Cider of Trade, which would be cool. First time we get to catch Trade here on the B stream for Pro League. But a 6-1 start. I mean, this is lights out right now. A lot to like coming through from Heroic. And everyone looking online what, you know, you want to be seeing. Tanir, he's only like 3 kills off his entire score for Dust2, including the overtime. We'll see.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check it out, I will shout out Mapcore one time. It's got there's some cool maps in there. If you want to, I had to run around on a few as well, and some of them are pretty interesting. So who knows? One of them actually could be in the map pool in the future. I know Anubis came from Mapcore as well. I'm not 100% sure if Ancient was one of them as well, but I know Anubis did come, or at least was in Mapcore at one point. Quite a few of the pros as well, when they asked them at the start of the day what map would they get rid of for cash, they actually did say Anubis. They're not a fan of the...
Yeah, kind of
surprisingly, actually. I thought Anubis seemed like a map that we just see get played all the time. So,
also true.
The assumption was that most people just liked it, but apparently not.
And it's kind of, I don't know, it's moving up my rankings a little bit in terms of to watch.
Yeah.
I think I can definitely agree with what some of them were saying, that in terms of like the feel and the flow of the map, it is very different from the rest of the field. You know what I mean? Like it feels like a slightly different version of Counter-Strike for sure. So that's maybe just part of it, is that when you play Anubis, you have to readjust and get ready for an Anubis map as compared to going from Dust2 to Mirage like we are. Youngster, pretty nice catch. Could make a difference here. Bomb site looks vulnerable. Get that plant in. Just need 1 kill for us before the retake gets going. That's what Youngster's looking for. He's up against the AWP. Of all things, god damn, that's quick round the corner. Some Pious drops the head of another. Oh no. Nemiga, it's fallen apart. 4 versus 3, and they've not even found one in this retake situation. Risky Bob now spotted. Heroic are just absolutely in the flow. Back with a vengeance. Lovely double swing to close out the round. And they are flying here on Mirage.
And in the same way as well that Nemiga were winning out all the close rounds, all the rounds that felt like there was maybe a question about them, it's the exact opposite is now happening. Heroic are winning everything. That is a ridiculous shot from Youngster. It looked insane from Khan's POV. It was actually even better from Youngster's. Just a preemptive one-tap around that corner. 7-1. Ironic as well, as I'm wearing a Brazil shirt, but Heroic are loving life. Low-ish buy, an AWP in play, but MP9 557 Deagle behind it. They are trying to get out. They have a good understanding. There's at least somebody towards Underwood, and that'll be the case. 5-7 will get a kill. There is a gun to be worked with there, but Risky Bob sticking with the 5-7, and on the swing gets caught out by xFloud. Last man I can't, he might just hit the AWP.
Oh! Alright, now he has to move to save. He's got the smoke down. Just waiting for the spray to come, but there is no spray. It will be the save. He had to battle his way out, but indeed you are correct that he moves to take the AWP into the next. I mean, it's just not looking good here, is it, right? This is the one thing, Heroic, we're getting the odd round on Dust2 to just keep them in the conversation. But this seems to be getting away from them on that Nemiga end. Just one round. Never going to be enough.
He'll save the AWP, at least. No one's close enough to be able to catch him on the way out. Heroic are so simply just waltzing through this. For the pause to be called here. Nice couple of consolation kills, that's all they really were. It's just so easy for Heroic. At first it looked like B-side was a real vulnerability out towards Nemiga, but we've seen them continue to test A and continue to not really falter in any way, and this is now a side of Nemiga who've gone considerably quieter compared to how they were at the start of this map and obviously in towards that first. So their second time out called. It's brutal. I don't even really know what they can do differently. They are just missing their shots. They are losing head-to-heads. They are struggling in the aim duels, and this is the Heroic that we expected, honestly. Not only in this sort of matchup, but actually in this tournament, and this feels like the first time we've actually seen it.
Nemiga have to deliver here. Getting out of hand, getting to that territory of unrecoverable. xFloud nice and confident. That's the kind of the thing as well, I think, from Heroic here, is they are just playing a bit more carefree, a bit looser, not quite as rigid, and it is really working nicely. Going with those instinctive plays and trying to make it work. However, xFloud maybe biting off a bit more than he can chew. Trade is there and is quite nice. Risky Bob on the secondary AWP finds one. Second player melts. This is somewhat of a mess from Heroic. Suddenly Pius is alone against the world. Not doing a bad job. Give me one more and we'll absolutely start to believe it. He's going to fake things out, try and draw them in, but he's just not ready for that flank. Too zoned in on the one player, unfortunately.
Finally, a good round, though. It all starts with Risky Bob just trying to slow them down. He does a lot of damage with the util, which stops them just being able to barrel out in towards B. And this is what Heroic are continuously trying to do, which is these quick plays, flying into fights, and just continue putting so much pressure on Nemiga. And this time, they finally get shut down because it actually felt like Nemiga were ready for it. It's better. It gives us maybe something to work with. So a lot more that needs to be done to convince us for sure, but making 8-4 of this, it might be the case. Why? 2 quick shots for him, looking for a 30. He will be stopped there. But it's all down to one man. Pius needs an ace clutch in this one. And he's tucked in towards Delphan. We'll get the second. Knows where the third is. Oh my god, through the nade. Pius. All right. Nice couple of shots from him, or 3 in total, but it's still the round for Nemiga.
He is banging here. He's looking really good. Pius is that player that we've highlighted as well, maybe in a slightly negative way. I actually brought him to light at the start of the show. He's looked good, then he's looked kind of weak. His level of consistency is certainly lacking on this team, but we're getting the best of him on this map for sure. Although, that being said, 4 0 impact kills in the past couple of rounds. To be fair, you know, that's where I would type nice exits in the chat after we win the round. After, of course, being the first guy that dies in the round. You know,
and bottom of the scoreboard, it's got to be done.
Yeah, that's when it's the ultimate.
Job. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, you are psychological warfare at that point.
Yeah.
You know.
I have a keybind on X, which just says next round. And there was a point where I would hit it subconsciously when I get a kill. That's just like as a part of movement. It was pretty tilting. That's a great shot by some players, but actually arguably an even better response by Khan. Both orbs have been actually really shining. Khan, for me, especially in 2025, it actually looked a little... I don't know, maybe just not to the level that I want out of him, but my God, he's actually looked all right in towards today. Early nade is good. Xanta going to get into backside door. Shot on towards Youngster. Or misses it on the second. The Mac 10 putting pressure on, but it's not enough. Xanta and Khan lock it up on B. And finally, a bit of consistency out for Nemiga late in towards the half. And I think they've recovered enough, Script, that we can maybe sit here and say, there's a chance.
Hey, just about, yeah, just about. As soon as I questioned them and said, hey, where are the rounds? This is looking scary. Can they get that 8-4? They absolutely do. 3 in a row is going to give them a nice bit of energy to work with. We, of course, go into the half time. Everybody's got the sheets out, talking things over, getting ready to go for the pistol. I think that was the big thing that saved Nemiga on Dust2 is the fact that they picked up the pistol, they converted it, they had such a cushion of rounds to work with. So Heroic will be absolutely looking to do the same here now. But a game on our hands, knockout on the line, and both teams playing like their lives depend on it. We're going to take a break. We'll see you in a few. What is up, gamers? Welcome back. Counter-Strike continues here. Will the tournament continue for Heroic? Is the big question. Nemiga, they want to say no, but it's not the loudest or most convincing no at the minute. We've got Lear with plenty of energy. But the rest of the team needs to pick it up ever so slightly. The big man Zwei has come alive into this map. Maybe they can rely on him on this here T side. Keeping it simple with the A execute.
Alrighty. What have we got? LNZ just tapping through that smoke, trying to find something. X-Cloud. Whoa, gonna get caught by Khan. It's a really nice shot, has to be said. We've now got a great amount of control towards the A site. With this bomb going down too, Nemiga are starting this half quick. They've got a fire lit under them. That's a great flash. And oh my god, a perfect swing. Zwei, Risky Bob, and Xanta Lear just got the easiest 4 assists of his life.
Whenever I do something like that, it is the exact opposite that happens. My entire team gets melted by one guy in CT. Yeah, I mean, damn. What can you do about that, really? You just get outgunned, out-gamed. The flash, plus the Glock is pretty deadly.
Swinging towards mid. We're going to get a lot of control here early. Of course, it's a force buy for Heroic. I don't love the force buys. I'll keep mentioning it. I'm not a fan of force buys on the CT side when you lose the pistol. You're not bringing a lot to the table here, Heroic. If they lose this round, not only do Nemiga get the 6th, but they get gifted the 7th, and that could be the beginning of the end. How Tanir's not been punishing towards out of there, I do not know. They're giving more damage over as well as they tick in the molly. They might swing on towards him. Why are we swinging an MP9? Boys, what are we doing? Tanir's been given so much here, and Khan still not traded. He's in a similar spot. Finally, he goes down, but my god, it should not have taken 3 separate players to take him down. And now there's a big flank brewing as X-Files push mid.
That is a bit more like it from the Nemiga MM arc. X-Files not going to be scared of this smoke, is he? B-bomb site. It's where we're ending up. Oh, not good. They needed that first kill. They needed to not get stuck. And unfortunately, that's what happens. Pistols win it out. Nemiga. It's a yikes. It is a yikes.
Yeah, honestly, that was brutal. That was really tough to watch. It all comes down to this ladder fight. I mean, they know there's MP9 there, and they just keep pushing it. I know you don't want to completely leave a position unchecked, but I knew he was there, and I thought there was better ways to try and make him feel uncomfortable. But Tanir gets away with way too much. And that very quickly probably slims down the chances of getting back in towards this game. You find the force buy behind it. We're loving life. We're talking about comeback absolutely on. LNZ. Oh, I guess both looking for a 30. Can't quite get it, but Tanir's close enough that he should be able to do so. At the very least, he'll go down. 2 versus 3. No upgrades picked up just yet. We're just trying to get this bomb down, honestly, but it's still stuck in apartments. He's waiting to catch people coming out of the window. And he can't hit the shot. AK pulled out. Khan needs a 1v2, and he can't get it. He was stuck in 2 minds of how to fight. And it will be seen off by Heroic. A bit of a sigh of relief, but honestly, Scribdash should probably see the map in their favor now.
Yeah, I mean, you would think so. Things looking very, very good. We expected 3 maps out of this. We kind of wanted the train as well to just get some more reps out of it. Hell of a run back will be required for Nemiga. 11 rounds. Definitely got to happen here. I think this would be probably the lowest buy win that we've seen all tournament long.
All Glocks, 1 Deagle. Bit of a mid play here. Some Pius just keeping an eye on lower. You've got the AK as well at window, but the MP9 up close. Getting 3. Simple shutdown. Very easy. Bit of damage, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. This one feels like it is just us biding time before we get to that 3rd map, which I'm looking forward to. Train will be a very interesting one as both sides are yet to pick up a win. Somebody's going to break that. Nemiga 0-3, Heroic 0-2. So as a decider, rather than it being a bit of a handshake in a bad way, it's more so that both sides have kind of sucked on it a little bit. So it could be a real brawl, really ugly, really funny. We'll see. Out towards A. The last hurrah here for Nemiga. You lose this gun round, and that is basically it.
Looking good. Man advantage initially. Have to hold on to it. LNZ as well is just playing the patience game, fully selling his teammates down the river. Swings in off the flash. They're not quite committed enough. And yeah, that is unfortunate. It's the right idea, but maybe thought they were in a bit deeper or indeed moving forwards. Not the case. Some pious. Dropping one here. He's got a chance. He does have one of the chances. One bullet onto Xanta is all that's required. He cancels the plant as well. Hadn't quite noticed that. I thought it had been completed personally, but not the case. So it does actually make the situation quite strange.
Some bias creeping around as well. 40 seconds. Bomb is spotted. Oh, he can't hit the one bullet. He just needed one onto Xanta. MP9 at range. Not good enough. Nemiga survive for now. Still a lot more that needs to be done before we get to a point of being convinced. But better than nothing. Maybe a chance. Maybe a world. And a timeout will be called. Second one here by Heroic. Two of which, of course, have also been called by Nemiga earlier in this game. But we are running out of chances. Something's got to give soon.
I feel like, you know, I want to break in to a little bit of the mailbag. I'm not too sure. I'm still, we got to speak to the boss, mate. We got to speak to the boss.
Yeah, I'm not on it, so I can't even read it.
Not getting the direct emails at this point. And I think we are meant to be in there. So, you know, I'm sure I spelled my email correctly, but EPL mailbag at efg.gg, of course. If you want to send something in for the B stream, you know, make the subject for the eyes of the B stream only. No A stream viewers here. Something like that.
Yeah, we'll read some mail. If there's some good mail.
Yeah, if it's there, bro. If it's there, I'm into it. I read pretty good sometimes, you know. Uh-oh. LNZ, though, plays his part pretty perfectly. What? How did he end up behind? Oh, my goodness. Okay, well, Nemiga gave themselves the briefest of lifelines, and they don't know how to swim, don't know how to even grab the rubber dinghy. What are those things called? What are the... You know what I'm talking about? It's not a... That's like a boat. What's the, like, little circle lifesaver thing?
Floaty?
Maybe. I'm sure it's got like a specific... Obviously, you got life jacket. I could have gone with that. But that's not the image I had in my mind. It's like, you know, those little... I don't think we have them as much in the UK, but those circle things that are like...
Shit.
Yeah. They're attached to like the rope, and you like throw them in, and the idea is the guy who's sinking, drowning, grabs onto the... Are they just called lifesavers? I swear they're called something.
Oh, if you're thinking, yeah,
I think easy to understand.
There's one right outside my apartment. I should go and have a look.
BRB, make it quick.
Yeah, 1 sec. So. Let me just go downstairs. 12-6 though.
Here we go. Life preserver. Life preserver.
Really? Okay, I've never heard that.
Leave that guy in the chat. I think that's what the Americans call him.
Life ring kind of seems like
everyone's typing raft. No, I don't mean. I mean, they may be giving themselves a life raft. Sure, that's pretty good. We might have a few casters in the chat, few future casters in the chat.
Life raft.
I know what a raft is, guys. Don't worry.
Raft, small boat.
Like makeshift, I guess.
Life
is
buoy?
One of the.
Yeah, our boys want to let you have at sea to like, I don't actually even know why they have
like little markers for boats, aren't they? Like so.
Yeah, but like, what is it marking? It's like how deep it is. Is that what it is? Like how deep? Like it's not like shallow.
Kind of like
don't come in.
yeah, probably right.
Yeah,
something like that.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
See, there you go. In America, they are lifesavers. So bada bing. I was there, kind of.
Really?
I don't know, mate. We don't call them candy.
Candy, yeah. That's a self-report right there where you're from. So
yeah.
Opening kill was good for X-File, but he gets responded upon by Leah in what potentially could be the final round here. Who knows? Khan misses the shot onto Tanir. Leah is trying to single-handedly pull this team, back in towards this game. A double from him already. With the bombs on Risky Bob, and he should get caught here. He will. That's gotta be it, surely. Yes, youngsters alone to a technicality, but how in God's name do they actually get past here? They're gonna try and go up on high. He'll spot them out as well. Youngster might have just won this alone. 13th is brewing. A swing again. Leah needing an ace clutch, and he's doing his damnedest right now. He might
very,
actually have a
very
chance,
surprising to
honestly.
see.
Honestly. He's half
maybe.
HP, He's got 40 seconds. It's just about enough time to maybe do something.
He's going to be making a lot of noise on the way in, though. It looks like he's opted for B. Tanir is here, off angle, but he's low. So, if Leah peeks into this cleanly, which he won't, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, Tanir was ready for him. 13-6. Really surprising. Nemiga just never get going. A small resurgence at the end of that first half with 3 in a row, but that is all they are able to get. And now we maybe worry a little bit. The Dust2 line, and there's so many chances, and so many games that you can play. They have to be careful of a Swiss system, and the elimination, it can creep up on you. I do believe we should be about ready to get into things here. Train underway. Yes, sir. I'm happy. I think this might be like my first train cast. I'm not going to lie. Maybe second?
Really?
Potentially. I think maybe second, actually. I seem to be coming back into a train cast that I had a little bit ago, maybe last week. Either way, we're going to see how this one goes down.
I've done a solid amount, I would say, at this point, and the best team I've actually seen on train so far, who I have casted, has been Paravision. So, honestly, if any of these two sides can top it, it was a bit of a weird fight towards our side. Some Pius will eventually drop Leah. Risky Bob also going to get caught as they're trying to get out. I don't think XR realized his leg was poking out there, giving away his positions. He'll get caught. Xanta finds Youngster. We're in a 2 versus 2. Very quickly, this becomes a little weird. It's just that lack of bomb.
Yeah.
Which makes everything significantly harder.
How do you group up? How do you come together?
Could just get it and go B, though.
True. I do like it a little in the fact that they just abandon the bomb, but also it does maybe give him a bit too much respect.
He might just commit through the smoke. I mean, where some Bias is playing, it's not going to work, at least initially. Oh my god, it's so dicey. Right in front of each other, 20 seconds. He's committing towards A. Now knows where he is as well. Got to go quick. You don't want to buy time for LNZ to rotate over, but Sampius will win it out. Second of the round. Heroic start well, and they needed that.
Yeah, they did indeed. It's a solid showing, but pistols can often be a place in which you re-find yourself. Not going to happen for Nemiga. Needs to be a very different team. Yeah, they are, bro. They're feeling it. They're feeling it. I will say some Pius, for a medallion man, Spanish, you usually expect them to be kind of out there, and he's pretty stoic,
It's true. It is true. But he's also like, he's an esports player in a way. Some of them are actually quite, introverted too. Maybe it's like
true.
The introverted side is a little bit stronger than the Spanish flair, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. Can't gonna get
internal battle.
Yeah. Internal strife within Mr. Alvaro himself. But an opener for the Famous on towards Khan. Youngster, of course, has been caught by his wise Deagle. They want to pop towards B. It's only the IGL of LNZ here to try and stop them. So they actually should be able to get a bomb plant here, especially in timing, because they have dropped down. Unfortunately, LNZ turned away at the worst possible moment. Bomb goes down. But it'll be gifted one to start things off. Spots a second. Oh, he's going to get double dinked as well. He's been glocked at range. Now, that is very awkward indeed. Zwei should tick in the flames, and he will. And it's all down to Xanta. A Glock as well for him. Should be literally impossible. And some bias will make sure of that. But honestly, a bomb plant and a couple of kills, I don't think Nemiga are too upset about that.
No, not at all. It is that kind of bare minimum satisfaction. So things look pretty good within the context of the round and the context of the expense. So we'll see here. We'll see. I think this next round will be a big one, and then we might break into the mailbag a little bit. We've been sent a few across once the action lulls, but these early rounds, pretty important to just get a taste of how things will go.
Yeah, we'll wait until we get to like attack pause or a tech pause. Hopefully not a tech pause, but you never know. Or a full eco, something of the sort. Then we can crack into them. You're right, for now, these rounds are super important. First gun round out for Nemiga. Tanir trying to fight around that main smoke, and it works well for the first. The molly at the toes of X-File. He'll get dinked as well. This is such a scrappy fight in main. Nades are raining down. X-File has somehow got out alive, but not for much longer. A wild fight, but only a kill apiece to open things up.
Yeah, it feels like there should have been more out of it. But not what happens. Leah on the opposite side of the map to the rest of his team, so he is potentially looking to be a bit of a nuisance. It has slowed way down. Nemiga looking for an entry opportunity, of course. Youngster got to be careful on this timing. In between these angles, gets good, but can't quite net the frag. Leah, meanwhile, trying to be the player to just keep them in things. A weird split situation here. There's CTs everywhere as well. They've not really confirmed the bomb. What is going on? I mean, Tanir's in behind there. Some Pius gets taken down. Youngsters completely rotated around through B. It's just a very strange game state, and his patience pays off. Youngster catches Zwei, it's all on Khan. And the CTs being everywhere seems to have worked very nicely for Heroic. This surely should close out now. Khan just hides inside the smoke. Few Hail Marys and hoping that a miracle comes his way. Tap onto the bomb.
Oh.
Headshot on the first. Just banking on the fact that that other guy is not on the bomb quite yet. 10-second timer has gone, and he's clutched it up just by way of patience.
Beautiful. Honestly, so well done there right at the end. He was so much in these sort of two minds, right? He didn't exactly know how to go about it, or, you know, do I fight when there's a tap on towards the bomb, or since I've killed one, do I just commit and hope that nobody else is here? And thankfully, he made the right choice. Nemiga needed that round. It's that shot on Tanir which locks it in place. And unfortunately, there's nothing Youngster could have done. Beautiful. Nemiga needed that. They'll get it. Of course, buy back out for Heroic, but LNZ will be required to bring an MP9. So if they were to go towards B, which he's been anchoring, especially any fights at range, he'll be at a little bit of a lesser position. So he's holding for this Ivy push too. So Youngster, as long as he doesn't overextend, he'll be fine. If he continues pushing, which he's done a couple of times already, this could get a little dicey.
So I do want to break in. Well, maybe not do the whole thing. We got like a question coming in. Let's go with Buttermilk CS, which is certainly an interesting name. Would you agree that G2 is an NA team after IEM Dallas 2024? And then comments about NACS is dead, but we won IEM Dallas, basically.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. The thing is, as well, it's like Stewie is from NA, sure, but is he intrinsically in the depths of like tier 2 NA at the moment? Not really.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So it's like he kind of just comes out of nowhere, does indeed play well, but it doesn't feel like he's in the heart of NACS at the moment.
I'm going to come back to this at a later date because there's an insane round brewing here. 2v4 turned into a 2 versus 2. It started so well for Heroic, and they've actually let it slip by overfighting. They dropped the bomb as well. And xCloud, he doesn't even realize it, but he's getting flanked right now. If Risky Bob can just buy a bit of time, who cares? Rip ahead. Smoke goes down, plant backside with 15 seconds left on the clock, and LNZ with an MP9 now upgraded to an AK, but he's taken a lot of damage in that fight with his MP9. I cannot believe it. 1 versus 2. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he might just give this one up.
He's too low.
Brutal. What a round to throw away there. That is a tough one.
Yeah. Nemiga looking good, I think, is one of the worries here on the Heroic side, who started well, tried to keep it together. They lose out a clutch, and then they lose out not necessarily a thrown round, but an unlikely round, let's say. And it is going to suck. It is going to hit. So I think we might need an early timeout here from Heroic to just recenter. Oh, what's that music? Is that timeout music? I think that might be timeout music.
Talking. You are the prophet.
Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Listen. It's almost like I talk about Counter-Strike for a living, you know? I know these players. I'm in their heads. And that's maybe why they're, facing elimination, because they've let me into their heads.
It's honestly, though, I do think you're spot on. This is a very good time to make this call. You've now getting a bit of understanding of what Nemiga are trying to do on your T side, and you're starting to at least develop what are their defaults, what are their tendencies, what are their habits, and how can we now punish them ourselves. And I don't think Nemiga, there's too much that they need to converse about. I think they're actually in a pretty solid spot, all in all. But for them, they'll use that timeout gladly and just say, all right, good work, boys. We're back into this. Now let's start chaining this into a lead. Double nades over to catch the cross towards E-Box, and it will do a pretty considerable amount of damage towards xCloud. One thing with that attack pause, it does ice out Nemiga just a little bit after 2 big rounds won. Khan wanted to fire. Scout of some pious is there to try and fare up. It's not the easiest sort of weapon to work, but probably one of the few spots where you can find a bit of form.
See whether it keeps brewing here, of course. Kind of waiting for this lull in play, just to get the chit chat going. EPL mailbag at efg.gg.
Yeah,
which is
some stuff.
It's a lot to say. I'm not gonna lie. Like, my brain does not like that at all. Got to put
a lot of G's in that.
Yeah, the EPL and EFG have got to go in the right place, and then it is like 3 G's in a row. Yeah.
40 seconds. A B hit brewing, but xCloud, a big flank brewing too. Oh, no! No! Oh, that was ugly. There's a second man here, and it's Tanir, who also gets caught in the same exact vein. LNZ with that AK will at least do something. But Bomb can now cross. Bomb can go down. That's not something they can stop. LNZ trying to creep his way up. He misses the shot. Youngster, outrange of an MP9. 2 versus 2. He's trying to jump shot a little bit of tag on towards lane. We don't need to peek now. Play around this smoke and utilize it to your advantage. 1 man on the scout and a 1 versus 2. They're both tagged, so it's not impossible. There's plenty of time on that bomb. Scout pulled out again. Where is he? Trying to find him around. Thomas with the pistol pulled out. He was so damn close going up on the ladder. But you hate to see it. Nemiga, survivor scare.
just a little bit of utility in there, right? So that they could flush out a position or smoke off a choke point, something like that. Would have really made a difference. The amount of damage done by those low buy weapons cannot be understated. They just couldn't find their way in, could not find the path. We have another timeout from Heroic.
Yeah, they're really nervy early here, aren't they?
It's pretty crazy. I mean, they took a timeout before that one, and now they're taking another timeout, man. I mean, it's unprecedented. It's really not heard of. And this is an eco again. So, you know, like a financially disadvantageous position at the very least. So, you know, it's like, what are we cooking? It better be good. It better be good, I tell you what.
That is, that's tough. That is seriously tough. I mean, who knows what Heroic are discussing in this? You know, it would be lovely if we could get the look in towards the comms. Obviously, understandable why we can't, but 2 back-to-back like that. Pop flash gonna come through. Anti wasn't being played there, so down will go Leah. But the response is good. And that's the 2 guns, or the 2 better investments, one of which being that M4 lying on the ground, which was maybe the chant in this one. Some Pious, his back is betraying him. He's trying to spam through that brick wall. That's asking a lot. And Xanta will clean up X-Rad. Lost man. LNZ, they've got to know he's the B anchor at this point as well. And now they know where he is. Swing and a find by Xanta. Good work. Messy opening fight, but a good recovery.
A decent find indeed. Well, let's see, man. This is a really, really big round on the horizon, I think. Heroic have got to have presence here. But it's a dangerous, dangerous conversation. The double timeout stack. You feel like both the timeouts, maybe not entirely talking about this round, but a large part of it, maybe an old recenter. There's a pretty good video out there if you guys want to catch it, that Ash released maybe a week ago now, talking about timeouts and sort of what they're for and some of the misconceptions, so on and so on.
Yeah.
It maybe does feel like that first timeout is like a mental one where Saul's just like, relax, calm down, comms not good, whatever. And then the second one that comes in is a little more of a tactical conversation.
Yeah. We have to do this. This is what we're looking to do towards this next round. This has got to be cleaned up. I kind of feel it. Smoke comes down. Deep Ivy smoke. That's a relatively new one. That was not used as much in some of the earlier train games when people were limit testing the map a little bit, but it's a very interesting one, but some passage just plays in front of it. Simple. And of course, you can use that smoke to get in, get out. So catches Swy, falls away. And it's the one downside of that smoke that's thrown there. It's good if nobody's already pushed forward, but if they are, like some Pious was, it's the easiest way to get out of dodge. Tania will catch Xanta too. That makes it all the more easier. A shot through the smoke is close, but they're down to 2 now. Nemiga might just save.
Yeah, I mean, what else are you going to do with the round, really? So that is certainly one way to send the message. Picks across the board. I see all the little X's are in very, very different locations. So, yeah, initial fights go heavily the way of Heroic. Nothing Nemiga can do to answer. They'll just have to go into the next one. But that being said, money's not great now. Minimum loss bonus for some of these players, and they are really worse for wear.
Okay. Yeah, Nemiga, that was a tough one to let slip. A lot of fights that just fall very, very flat, very, very quickly. Okay, a pause this time called by Nemiga, so a lot of early attack pauses. And, you know, this will happen, right? When we see a series like this where it's elimination on the line and we've gone to a third map and you've both had your problems on a third map as well, I can understand why they're really trying to get as much control in this early part. You touched on the Nemiga, don't have a lot working in terms of the funds. The Eagle Tech 9 double AK AWP is what we're working with here. It's workable, but at the same time, it can be very awkward. Kong gonna get run boost early. Might be a quick peek Ivy, which I can get behind. He's got the drop.
Not as much action at the start of this round compared to the previous. Really no moves panning out just yet. And Nemiga are patiently waiting for something to come their way, I think is what we're looking at. So Heroic have definitely put the fear into them after the last round going so very well. I quite like the little kind of office that's in the way.
Yeah.
Towards heaven instead of like having it as a completely open channel. I think that does change the dynamic a bit on that beat.
Yeah, I agree.
Which was notoriously just impossible to get into sometimes.
True. We're under a minute now. It's a pop towards B that is being set up in a sense, right? They're trying to bait out a bit of a heroic utility. What a shot by Zwei. Oh my god, that is huge. The bomb's not towards B, but they're trying to bait out that that's where they're going. They might even now be going for a late commit. Oh, Leah. 2 huge shots. He'll go down through the smoke, but my god, he's done wonderful work. X-Foul is in that con smoking very riskily. Is being played up close there by a risky bomb, pushing through. No way, I can't commit. X-Foul couldn't get the shot. Moving around, the bomb will go down. It's LNZ left with it all to do. And they will know that he's this B-rotate. Nemiga, how have they survived this round? It's Khan who goes down first. Still plenty of time for LNZ, but he's got 2 more to find. 1 E-box, 1 up close. Risky bomb. Beautiful work. I cannot believe Nemiga have walked away with that.
Yeah, a mental round once again. Seems like we're getting quite a lot of those in this series. The unbelievable moments. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But, you know, it's kind of what makes Train a bit fun. Very, very open spaces where many fights can go down. Not super long range, but long range enough. Be careful there. You might need a new chair, and you get a check in the mail for that. But you can see the Heroic boys not too happy about the way things are panning out. Feels like we've just not had any downtime here either, right? Buy after buy after buy.
Non-stop, isn't it? My god, what a game though. What a game. X-Cloud. Gonna try and join up with LNZ. Right call. Brewing for a B hit. They faked it and then went A last time. This time they're Util's coming down, they're committing. And there's no one really close enough in rotations to help these two. So even if one of them falls, it could be wraps on the lockdown. That's not a good start. LNZ gonna get clipped by Lear. Head to head with the IGLs. Oh my god, he gets bailed out. Xanta. What coverage from him from the heavens. And that's probably got to be the round saved, especially now with some Pius going down.
Yep, definitely looks that way. Ooh, Tanir should hold then. So they'll get their guns, but it is going to be low money in the next round. Whether they want to work around it, do some drops or whatever, I'm not sure. I would imagine it's an eco or potentially small half buy around these 2 saved M4s.
Survive, okay. Nemiga 6-3. Heroic are running out of time. Oh my god. This is a wild round again, like we've been talking about, where it feels like there has been no rest for the wicked in these sort of scenarios. Another pause. The final one as well for Heroic. We're only 9 rounds through this game and they're going to call all 3. So it is actually, everything has been weighed up in this first half, and it's a heroic side who have gone very muted now.
All right, while we're in the timeout, I got a big question for you, Neo,
Sure.
in from my man Josh K, and this was to the EPL mailbag. He said, just curious, so as though it's popped into his head about 5 minutes ago, if you guys got sent back to the Dark Ages with an Apache attack helicopter and crew of teammates, how many kingdoms do you think you'd be able to conquer?
All of them.
Yeah, probably all of them. Tell me how they deal with an Apache attack helicopter. So long, the only threat would be running out of like fuel,
ammo, right? But what I'm saying though is like, I don't even know if I need to fight, because I just tell them I'm God. You know what I mean? Or like, I am,
this is smart.
I am an alien or something, right? And they'll just believe. You know what I mean? I know it. Like they'll believe me. So I'll just say, yeah, I'm an alien. I've come from a different planet, and like I'm come here to rule, and you guys have got to obey me basically. And they'll be like, all right, sound like, and then there'll be like one person early doors who really like questions it. It's like, no, actually, I refuse, and I'll just shoot them with the Apache helicopter. Like, nah, fair enough. Like he wasn't lying. That's my thought process there.
I think
lined up and
hit the nail on the head. I think you've hit the nail on the head.
It's actually it's like a propaganda war more so than like a like a real war. You know what I mean?
You probably have to fight like one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they were pretty into God at that point. So if you come along, beware the false prophets and all that kind of stuff, and you're like, I am alien God man or whatever.
Yeah.
They'd probably be like, right, well, he might be right, but whatever religious text we follow says that we have to try and kill this guy.
Yeah. All I need to do is
get to the end of that.
Write a religious text of my own and be like, no, this was hidden, guys. Like,
oh, goodness. Now you're getting quite deep, mate. You could potentially turn history around completely.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then be like, no, this is actually right. It says like Neo and the Apache helicopter is God. And, that's what you got to kind of go with. So that's probably where I would lean, I think. But who knows? 6-4, Nemiga. 2-round buffer. Can they get a lead? Confirmed in towards that second half. That's the main thing they're vying for here. 2 Galils to work with. Tanir on a flank. Xanta is briefly holding, but not well enough. Tanir gets both. This is something that Heroic have been doing quite a lot, pushing through Pot Dog. And again, they get away with it. LNZ will fall, so there's space down towards B, and a very early plant can come through. So that's at least something to work with. But means Dwight's all alone in this endeavor.
Yeah, bro.
Got a late load towards A, which is being held. Oh, Risky Bob, he needed that kill. Absolutely, the fact that he doesn't get it feels like it should be done here. Zwei, 1 point of HP, and somehow survives, and A going off in front of him. It's all on Leah. It's all on the IGL. Smoke down on top of the bomb. They're expecting a ramp play. Youngster will get caught. Oh my god, it's Scrappy. Zwei against Tanir. They were both low, but he just didn't expect Tanir in the smoke, and they've got just enough time for the defuse. It's close, but it's Heroic's round.
I mean, that is very close. 4v2, right? Could easily have been snatched away. Thought he was maybe still on the bomb. It's unlucky because Tanir was very, very killable. It's kind of the flank, though, that goes quite well for Heroic. The fact that they were ready. Such a weird post-plant for a second there, where it's like one guy on the bomb, one guy way back in hulls, one guy over on A, not really doing anything. So very, very strange for a second there. They're really using all these timeouts, man. Neither team has got any timeouts for next half.
It is actually wild. All 6 tactical timeouts used in the first half. My, oh my. I don't know, man. It's a big final round because If the Nemiga are somehow able to squeeze us over the line, having a lead on the T side of train is so damn important. And honestly, could be the difference maker. They're going quick towards A. They might just commit out here. Molotov down. The flash onto Exile is good, but he somehow stays alive and he gets one before he falls. To near backside, he'll get caught and cleared. Good work by Xanta. There's an upgrade to be picked up as well if they need. Bomb will go down. 3 versus 4. Make that 2, may I say. But Sampai is basically dead. Everything's going to be done by Youngster here.
He gets one on the backside. Upgrades himself to that AK. He's also got the kit, so yeah, really important that he just gets kills and stays alive. No one was peeking him or giving him anything. Xanta, with the crazy off angle, gets it done. It's a 7-5. It's Nemiga to take the lead after what looked to me a very, very weak start. They've done well here to recover the situation and take a lead. Moving into the second half there now.
Yeah, I'll have to say, I think for Heroic, they feel probably a little bit dejected, I think it's safe to say. Some of the ways in which these rounds have gone, but also the overall feeling right now. Nemiga, if they can get a pistol round, that might be it. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, there's no more attack timeouts heading into the second half. All 6 have been used in this first half. Next time we get attack timeouts into overtime if we get there. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to throw to a little bit of a break. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back. Second half coming up in our third map. It's Train, of course. It's Nemiga with an ever so slight lead, but a really, really dicey first half from both sides. A lot of mistakes being made, a lot of ups and downs, and that slim lead by Nemiga is everything right now. If they can get a pistol around here, genuinely it could be the beginning of the end for Heroic. Not only in this series, but in this tournament.
Yes, it all comes down to this. The stakes don't really get much higher in the early stage of a tournament, right? And I think in a way for teams like this as well that are trying to place themselves in the world of Counter-Strike, you need to be surviving and getting deep into the tournament. Going out early is not what you want. Youngster can't land those shots in the end. It was looking good for a moment, but he just could not find the head. LNZ is trying to survive things, and it's not going to happen. Nemiga find the pistol, and it is big. It is big. It's going to put them in a fantastic position now.
This is a war cry that Leah was doing yesterday, and it worked yesterday, and who knows, it might work out here and now, but that is such a big round to be taken for Nemiga, honestly. Look at them getting fired up. You love to see it, dude. Honestly, that's such an important round for Nemiga to get. Extend the lead to 3. Should honestly be made 4 as well. There isn't a buy for Heroic to work with. 1 Deagle for Youngster and a few Glocks. This should be a 9-5. 9-5 is a tough score to recover from.
Yeah, just handing it across. Maybe if they can drop one of these rifles, they'd be pretty happy. Svai knows that. He hears a Deagle ringing off. The initial fight doesn't go his way, so he doesn't take that repeak. Yeah, there ain't no discipline like a third map elimination game, right?
True.
You would definitely see first game of the tournament. He's probably having a cheeky repeak on that one, isn't he? But not here.
Yeah, not at the moment. Not with everything that's been brewing in this series. Under a minute now. 50 seconds to work with his. Looks like Heroic want to go for a late play towards B. There's 2 players here to meet them. 1 holding the heaven. It's Xanta at range and Khan up close. You've got Yuto, a nade to bound out if needed. But this is all about getting a plan, basically. And honestly, with them flying out, they should be fine. Oh, I'd say that. No way. The bomb actually does get past the M4, but not past Khan. On site, Famas. He wants the kills as well. I don't blame him. But it's risky bomb who steals it away at the end. Big one to take. And the fact that they just do it effortlessly.
Very, very vocal at the moment. Talking things away, talking things through. Just a couple more, and I mean, this next round could be the defining one, to be honest with you. If they deny a bomb plant here, they probably get themselves an 11th pretty easily. So, it is nasty. It is a lot of pressure. Decent nade damage to kick things off.
Khan, gonna play up close. He saw that spam, but doesn't want to test it. I think that's the right way to go about it. Extraordinary damage dealt on towards him could be pretty important. This gun round actually feels like it genuinely could be everything for Heroic. You lose this gun round and that might be it. Nemiga finding a 10th, potentially even 11th as well, with economy being shattered. With a scoreline of 9-5, if economy continues being a little rough, generally you could have only 2 proper gun rounds for Heroic on this T side. That is a difficult predicament for them, and it's an absolutely excellent smoke. Risky Bob going to play up close to the MP9, but honestly, the timing of that smoke could not have been better. Look where he is. Prime position for 2. Nearly the 3rd as well, and it will be settled by Zwei, who swings for more, and he finds more as well. Zwei shut it down. What a hole towards A. Risky Bob sets the tone, and Zwei will see it over the line. Oh my god, Heroic. We could be saying goodbye to them. 1-3 at Pro League at this rate.
Yeah, a team that had a lot of excitement behind them coming together last time out at Pro League. You may well argue they performed a bit better than this, so
I love it.
Feeling good about it. They are feeling good about it.
G has had a lot of, limelight for being like a fun character, but I gotta throw Leah in the mixer as well, dude. Both series, today and yesterday, when they're winning, oh my god, he's a fun guy to watch. The war cries, the celebrations, the high fives. I mean, he seems like a really cool dude. He seems like one of those dudes like you'd like to get a beer with.
Sure. I could see it. He might go a little wacky though. I reckon he'd.
Good. That's what I do. We need
take you to some crazy places.
That's what
do you know what I mean? It'd be like a Wednesday. You've got work tomorrow, and he doesn't care. Like he just
like this place closes at 4, by the way. Not too late. You're like, sorry.
Yeah. 3 beers on every order. You know, as soon as you finish, he's getting. It's like all your beers are paid for, but
they only serve IPAs from like the most remote region or something.
Oh, sure. You're just going to be drinking so many of them.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Leah.
Oh, hang on. Tanir gets the first. LNZ gets the second. Bomb goes down. Oh, X-Flow deletes the AWP. How is this the round that Heroic are winning? 2 versus 5. It should be done already.
Yeah, it can happen. The game of Counter-Strike can get away from you from time to time. The Pistols have closed the gap. So many to look at. Youngster trades instantly. I think they were on their way to save there anyway.
Wow.
And there isn't a life left in the old dog yet.
Oh, wow. Of all the rounds to be seen over the line, the weird scrappy force hitting towards B, where they've struggled to go towards B.
Oh my goodness.
No idea what he said, but...
Yeah, calm down.
Yeah. You're still 4 rounds down. A lot of work to be done,
bro.
A lot of work to be done. Double volleys, risky Bob. Oh my god, yeah, he struggled to get on the ladder. Oh my god, what a shot. Some players actually tagged him as well, but risky Bob, nice little angle. LNZ will eat a grenade. Xanta's only got a 5-7, but he was nearly gifted a free fight at close range there. So a lot of early damage dealt. And another tag.
Oh no.
That comes through, this time on towards X-Cloud.
I don't like it. It's not looking good. The vibrations are off here. Execute gonna come in, so they'll just rely on the process and on the plan. Maybe jumping over that bullet there. Khan caught. He will go down, but the damage that's been done is so substantial. Look at all the assists that come in. Tania is caught out in the open. He will fall, and Nemiga right back to their winning ways.
Oh my. Time is running out to get in towards this game. That's brutal. And especially you just win a round and you just find a bit of form. And then immediately it gets sort of thrown back in your face like that. That is brutal. That's gonna hurt.
Hey, listen, man. It's what we always say. Those low-buy rounds are hard to replicate.
True.
And that's exactly the plague that becomes Heroic. Trying to go for an early pick. Nothing presenting. X-Floud eating a nade to kick things off.
All right, so smoke down, double smokes down, in fact. One from the T-side, one from the CT. (11-6), and a near full buy. A little bit of money left over for Tanir and Youngster just in case, but they're playing to win, not for overtime. It all comes down to this. It's eerily quiet for Heroic. And it looks like they want to pop towards A.
45 seconds. The first bit of utility will rein in. Some pious catches Lear on that advanced position. Advanced defense. Vi has to fight and will be traded instantly. Risky Bob is the man in behind enemy lines here. They're unexpectant of him. Bomb has been spilled. They have to pick that up. And in comes Risky Bob. No plan for you. Oh, it's just one, though. So they will do enough to trade him down. Should be able to get the bomb planted. Trying to go towards B. It doesn't matter in the end as the kill comes in. I was going to say it might be a bit close for the B plant, but either way, they win the round.
I like that idea, though, of, you know, let's assume they had enough time of pulling away over towards B, but leaving a lurker towards A to catch rotations. But that was a very scrappy round. I actually think Heroic win that round on utility. Their smokes and flashes were excellent to give them a lot of space. Risky Bob, he very easily actually could have got to there. Maybe even got the guy off the bomb first and not the planter, but he was coming out of the smoke. He had no idea where he was. And it happens. Flashbangs. Oh my god. Zwei with a scout looking to try and connect on towards Tanair. Not to happen. LNZ gonna find Xanta. It's carnage. These rounds are quick. And as Nemiga have gone for a force, they need to make this one stick.
It's true, man. This gap's going to close fast if you're not careful. Oh, Leah. It's a good spot. Don't overuse it. Oh, he's going in too deep. Too deep. We liked where he was at for a moment there, but he'll give them a kill. And with that, probably the round going to be slowly but surely secured. X-Floud with the sense of timing. Moves away from the 5-7. Oh, yeah, he has. Yeah, onto an AK. Could be...
Who knows? Ah, never mind.
Well, still, who knows?
Oh, true.
No, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt like a 1v4 swinging out of main felt a little unlikely, a little hopeful, but heroic. That's a big round to take because that was a force buy for Nemiga. That means they're left with nothing in this one. It was just relentlessly quick once again. And you see some of the errors that plague a side like the mid, like the overfight and the pushing angles that we don't need to. It's one of those where, unfortunately, that is the difference between like a tier 2 side and maybe even just like a tier 1.5 side, as we would sort of generally lump heroic in with being in that tier 1.5. Nemiga more tier 2. Just these tendencies to always want to fight and these over rotations or overplays of the angles that they have. So low buy here. We've Gamble stacked over towards B, but heroic are taking Ivy control.
Got sent a picture of a cat. Do you like cats?
Don't mind them. I'm more of a dog man though, I would gotta say.
I don't have too much knowledge of cats, unfortunately.
It was a cool looking cat though.
Yeah, he's a little goofy looking guy for sure. So yeah, thank you for the cat. Anyone else with cats in chat, maybe send it through. And a little fun fact, I guess. The one about this cat is that he doesn't like fish, apparently. Which apparently, I guess doesn't make sense. That is fair. They are famous for liking tuna and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, but not everyone does, mate. Not everyone does. I'm sure you might have a food that everyone else is a big fan of. I remember one guy at uni. I don't know why this has just popped into my head, but he didn't like fizzy drinks like at all. Like none of them. Not just I don't like Coke. I prefer Pepsi. He just could not handle the like I guess carbonation of the drink.
Yeah.
Which made it very interesting. The drinking culture at English universities is quite big, so that also spread to like beer. You know what I mean? Because there's a bit of like biz to beer as well. So this was a guy that was like, "Nah, I'll just drink vodka and water," and it's like,
oh,
interesting.
Wow, that's
very
rank.
interesting. Yeah.
That is rank. I recently found, I didn't actually know this was a thing, but there's like a kind of like a brewery near me and they do still cider and it's actually pretty good. Honestly, one of them I just had like tasted like Ribena. So
there you go.
Pretty good. LNZ.
If only that was around while I was at uni, this guy would have been slightly less
loving it.
Strange. Yeah.
Lear finds Tania. He's got a good idea there's someone else around here because it was LNZ who got the kill. It's just about where is he? Oh, Lear gonna get dinked. That makes his life a lot harder. Khan, how's your swing? Great. It's actually perfect because he doesn't take even a single point of damage. 11-9 on the score line, but man advantage for Nemiga. They're back into the buy and they're back making it stick.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be absolutely heartbreaking if Heroic cannot take this at least the distance. What do they do here? I mean, this is kind of the chat that's going down at the moment. I'm sure it's like, do we want to move forward for this? Do we want to save and just try the RNG angle in the next round? Leah. with the T molly. Slightly scarier than the CT molly for sure. But all the same, it's well timed and they don't fancy the push.
Time taking 30 seconds. We got to go. Now or never, boys. Lear back sight but low. He might just want to buy time. Actually, even let them out a little bit. Because of how low he is. Just stay alive. If you can. He can't. Gets caught. Molotov will make life very difficult. X-File is tucked in a difficult angle to clear. And Sumpires is hitting shots. That's why he's left all alone. Now time to prove your mettle, youngster. What have you got for us? 1 versus 3. Knows where the AWP is. Knows there was one back sight. It's about figuring out where is X-Cloud. Oh my god, it's right on the edge. Yeah, he can't see him because of the smoke. We can because of the X-ray. When internally you scream and shoot. His crosshair was on. That's why he might just be pulling away though. No fights are being given over to him. That is heroic. Surviving from a man disadvantage, and they will be getting their way up to double digits. Fair play. Youngster. Oh my god, he gets the kill as well. Makes it even worse for Young Zwei.
Yeah, not good. Not good. Heroic. Well played to them, to be honest, right? The B hit just did not look like it was going to happen. I saw that Molotov come in. I was like, okay, we should be ready for this. But it falls apart massively. Big Sumpires moment. And the half by here. So it's going to be 11-11. It's going to be all 24 required. And maybe just a few more here as well now.
Oh, well. We've already had, you know, a close game and overtime in map ones and oh my god, if you got the second behind it, I might have started to believe. Molotov will deny what these pistols can do. He behind it, bomb to go down. Risky Bob, a lot of damage taken to him with the CZ, the IKEA builder gun. So I don't know if I believe it's not a gun I really love to see used as Lear gets caught picking up the scout. It should be done here. Tanir's lurking in the smoke. His nade might even just get the kill itself. As Why pushes through. Risky Bob swinging a find. But it won't deny, I don't think, anyway, this round here. It shouldn't. And Sumpires make sure of that.
All right, here we go. Do or die for both of these teams. Quite literally, not just in the series, but in the tournament. Can they keep it together? So far, so good. Heroic have actually done a very good job. It felt like they had maybe again let things slip at the very final moment, but their composure, given the fact that we have no damn timeouts left for either team, has looked pretty good. A bounce back required. They answer that call. Nemiga looking to stop them. Oh no, Trace has followed. X-Cloud was on, but he was 1 bullet here, 2 bullets there, and just, you know, changing up the angles a bit too much. Nemiga don't call off the push, however. They get that first frag, but they move in and throw away the advantage.
Youngster might push the smoke it. Only thing is, would he have heard the steps of Xanta? Surely he has. If Xanta's patient, it could be a kill opening up as a freebie basically to him specifically. But Xanta's pulled away. So Youngster gets in the back lines. Oh my god, this is all won or lost here by Youngster. And what a check. Because Xanta same time has found a kill. Can't, holding with the AWP, but he gets gifted one over. How is this round falling apart? Heroic 3 versus 4 in their favor. And now 1 versus 3 for the AWP of Sumpires, who gets a nail by Zwei. Map, series, survival point for Nemiga.
Crazy. I think we've had quite a few rounds. You say, you know, how has it happened? I think we've said that quite a few times, haven't we? Really had that sort of sentiment within a good number of these train rounds that it's like, what is going on? You know, the pushes, the advantages. It does look very, very messy. So many open fights being taken by both teams. A lot of squads afraid to just sort of stand still and let the round play out. They always feel like they have to be active in this one. Big nade damage once again. Speedy round from Heroic, just going straight in, not wasting any time. Risky Bob first line of defense, and maybe the only one that they need. All the kills go in the way of Nemiga. The round crumbling before our very eyes, and Heroic's tournament life has been deleted. 2-1, the 13-11 finish, and they are indeed knocked out of EPL here. That is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. The two maps that they lose are all the way down to the wire. One in overtime, one in the very